You'll find a Mets fan. Let's go. This is a Mets year. For all your Mets here, let's go. Bring it home. Bring it home. Bring it home
exciting, thrilling, awesome. Let's take a look.
What's up, Met fans? Welcome back to Talking Mets here. Rob, how is everybody doing today on this Wednesday afternoon? And the New York Mets are looking for the 3-game sweep of the Milwaukee Brewers at American Family Field in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. What a game from the New York Mets. It looked like all hope was lost. The Braves were winning. The Mets were down by 4, but not so fast. Pete Alonso, 3-run homer, get us back into the ball game in the 6th. And then the 7th inning came with a couple of walks and clutch Francisco Lindor with a grand slam to left field, putting the Mets on top for good. And let's also give it out for the Mets bullpen, who held it down the rest of the game, along with the closer, Edwin Diaz, closing it out for the 2-run save and the 4-out save from Edwin Diaz. It was a lot of fun. It was something that, look, I think everybody was expecting a letdown from this team, to be honest with you. I mean, you saw it on Twitter. They talked about it on the pregame. And for the first couple of innings, everybody looked like everybody just looked hungover. And even though they didn't celebrate like they won the World Series, they still enjoyed themselves, which they should. You make the playoffs, you can't win it unless you're in it. They were very, very – they deserve to celebrate making the playoffs. But I think some of us, even if they didn't want to believe it, felt like there could have been a letdown, and it looked like that for the first 5 innings of the game. But Pete Alonso with the dead center field shot, and then the grand slam by Francisco Lindor, batting right-handed and hitting it to left field, it changed everything. It felt like the team just woke up. As soon as Alonso hit that home run, the team just felt like it woke up, and that's exactly what they did. Took advantage of a Brewers team who were fighting with the Phillies for that last wild card spot, and the Brewers are all over the place. They're not the greatest team in the world, but they are a decent team. They're a team that, in 2 weeks could be in the playoffs. And as much as the Braves fans want to talk about beating the Phillies, and all of a sudden they're a Phillies fan, they're a good team. Well, the Brewers are basically very similar in roster setup than the Phillies. Their starting pitching can be a hit or miss. Their bullpen is not that good. And they got guys that can hit for power, even though we haven't seen that from the Brewers much in this series. And you've seen what happens when good teams beat borderline playoff teams. The Braves and the Mets have showed you that they take care of business against borderline playoff teams. They know how to win. It's just that simple. Like I said, it's frustrating for Braves fans. It's frustrating for Mets fans. Every time you look at the scoreboard, it seems like the team you're chasing or the team that's right behind you is always winning. Nobody can have hiccups. And you know what's funny? The one time both teams had hiccups, they both did not take advantage of this situation at hand. And look, the Mets have 12 games left. The Braves have 14 games left. But with the off day tomorrow for the Mets, they catch up rather quickly by the weekend. And then everything comes to the same amount of games with the last week of the season. And I think we've been saying it for a month now, that it's going to come down to that weekend series against the Atlanta Braves. It's obvious, and that's okay, right? And like I said, if Braves fans and Mets fans in the beginning of the season, if somebody would have told you that one of the teams are going to be one game out and they both are going to have between 93 and 95 wins, everybody would take that, because you just never know in a baseball season what can happen. And look, I had the Braves, I believe, winning the division in the beginning of the year at 96 wins, and the Mets, I think it was 95 or 96, and the Mets were at 93 wins. So I had both of them over 90 wins. It just felt like that. But still, the way these two teams have played, the Mets been consistent all year. The Mets and the Braves are the only two teams in Major League Baseball that haven't had more than a 3-game losing streak all year, and that's something to tip your cap about, because that just shows you how consistent they are. Like I said, the Braves, the first 2 months were a struggling team, but ever since June 1st, they've been the best team in baseball record-wise, and there's no mistaking that nobody can say the Braves are a bad team, because they're not. As much as everybody wants to say that, this team's better than that team, until the record says it is, you're not. It's just very simple, right? I don't think the Yankees are a very good team, but how can I say that they're not better than the Rays or the Blue Jays when they have a better record than them, right? Just looking at paper, well, then why are we even playing the game? The Astros are going to win the World Series, right? That's the way it's supposed to go. But guess what? It doesn't. The Braves with 88 wins last year shouldn't have won the World Series because technically they weren't the best team or better than anybody else in the playoffs. Who cares about that? It doesn't matter, right? So at the end of the day, it comes down to who is better in that day, in that game, in that series, if it comes to regular season matchups or postseason matchups. It's very simple. Very, very simple. I think I think the problem with baseball now is people get way too deep into looking at rosters and everything in between, and just because you look at a roster and like, wow, that team is really good, but what does that really mean, right? The White Sox have a really good roster as well. They're trying to make the playoffs. Like, it really just doesn't really matter. I think two people get focused on that, and that goes for Mets fans, that goes for Braves fans, that goes for Yankee fans. Don't tell the Yankee fans that they're a bad team because they would go absolutely insane on you, right? And that's basically what it is and what happens. And the best part about it is that it's put up or shut up time for both teams for the season. Again, playoff time, it doesn't matter. The Mets can get swept by the Braves in that 3-game series, and the Braves can win the division. That means absolutely nothing in October during the postseason, right? We've seen it with years past when the Cubs took the season, won every game in the season series, and the Mets swept them in the 2015 playoffs. And the same thing with the Dodgers. The Dodgers took the season series, and the Dodgers lost to the Mets in 2015. It happens. It doesn't matter. Nobody will tell you that the Braves were better than any team that they were probably facing in the National League last year. But guess what? They were good when it counted, and that's all that matters. So, with that said, welcome to Talking Mets with Rob. If you're a first-time subscriber, you just subscribed to the channel, please let me know. Give me your name and where you're from, and we can say what up to you guys and give you a shout-out. And obviously, this is Mets Pregame Live, going right into Mets versus Brewers, Game 3 of the series before the Mets off day tomorrow, and then the Oakland series in California for 3 games against the Athletics. The Mets, I believe, have DeGrom going as well. It's lining up. Basically, whoever is pitching this series is going to be pitching in the Braves series. That's how it's lined up with the days off. And I think, just like the Braves are doing, just like the Mets are doing, they're lining up their best pitchers for that series because why the hell not, right? The Braves were freed. They're keeping them until that series as well. The same thing with Strider, even though there was some oblique soreness. I don't know how serious it is. I'm not going to be looking at Braves news every 2 seconds about Strider. That's none of my business. Until we face him, it really doesn't matter. I don't know how pitchers, certain pitchers pitch well with extra rest, some don't. When you don't pitch for 12 days or 10 days, you might be stronger, but sometimes you might be overthrowing. That's how it happens sometimes with certain pitchers, but we'll see, right? There's no mistake that both teams are preparing their rotation for that series in Atlanta because, let's be honest, I would be absolutely shocked if any team has more than a 1-game lead going into that series. I just think that's probably, it's been 1 game for a while now. You know what I'm saying? And it's been, just give me 1 second. I'm just got to put the charger in. It's been like 1, 2, 1.5 games for about 2-3 weeks now. And it really hasn't changed, either way. And it's just the same thing. So, no doubt, the Mets, even when they only got 4 hits yesterday, when they needed the big hit, 2 of those hits were bombs. They scored 7 runs on 2 home runs, right? Who have we seen that do that a lot? The Braves, right? They're one of those teams as well. They got a couple of guys struggling offensively as well, and what happens? A couple of home runs here or there, and they take an early lead just like they did today. I do like to see the power. And look, put it this way. When you have two guys in your lineup that you're counting on for the big RBI guys in Lindor and Alonso, and their RBI total is over 220, well, that's what you're looking for from the middle of that lineup. And they're number one in Major League Baseball between the 3 and 4, between the two big boys in any of the lineups. And the Braves aren't even in the top 5. But that really doesn't matter when it comes to the Braves because they got a lot more going on. You could look at Riley and Olsen. That would be the two guys you'd be looking at, or Riley or an Acuna, as the other two guys, the big bats in those lineups. But yet they got those big-time players. I truly think Swanson is probably the biggest X factor for the Braves when it comes down to – I just think Swanson's clutch, and I think Swanson is very good. So it's so much of an even matchup between the Mets and the Braves, and we'll get into a little bit more of the Mets and the Brewers today because that's who the Mets are playing. But it's so evenly matched when it comes to just putting the guys on the field, not on paper. Because if somebody says again one team's better than another, just by looking at the paper, it's stupid because it's irrelevant. If you're gonna not talk about what happened on the field, then you're not really smart enough to be a baseball fan because it doesn't matter when it comes to baseball, right? If you're going to watch basketball, usually 99% of the time, the good team usually beats the bad team. It's rare enough. It usually happens. Baseball, over the last 15 years, it has been a totally different game. Even in the last 10 years, a totally different game when it comes down to who's better on the field. The Nationals weren't the best team in 2019. The Braves weren't the best team in 2021. And you want to talk about the shortened season? Fine, we can talk about it. But I still don't think the Dodgers would have won the World Series if it was for a 60-game season. So, yes, Alien, I know you're going to Oakland. The 7 line is going to be there. I know they're doing a pregame party. The name I forgot about the name of where they're pre-gaming before. I know they're doing a big tailgating party in Lot K at the Coliseum outside the parking lot. So you can show up. You don't have to be a part of the 7 line. You don't have to have a ticket for the 7 line group outing. You can just show up and hang out. So with that said, the Mets are going for the sweep today with Taijuan Walker on the mound. And I think this is a very, very important start for Taijuan Walker. He pitched very well against the Pirates, but that's the Pirates. I'm not going to give him a ton of credit because it was the Pirates. You saw what happened with the Pirates yesterday in the Yankee game, right? They're a bad team. Like I said, you don't say sorry for beating bad teams. That just pads your record. That's all it does. Put some more W's in that win column. That's basically it. But I want to see Taijuan Walker because there's a few good hitters in this Brewers lineup. Willie Adames, the Mets can't get him out for nothing. You got to stop him. Yelich, the Mets have controlled him for the most part, but yesterday he had a couple of hits yesterday too. So I do think that I want to see Taijuan Walker get it going. These guys are fighting for playoff spots on the playoff roster spots because there's no guarantee that Taijuan Walker is going to be on the playoff roster, either if it's the wild card series or the divisional series, because how many pitches can you actually carry, right? It depends on the matchup. If you're facing a team that has a lot of lefties, why would you bring Taijuan Walker into the bullpen when you're probably going to need Joely Rodriguez and David Peterson because there's a lot of lefties on that team that you're facing in the wild card or the divisional series. So there's a lot to talk about when it comes to that, but I want to see Taijuan Walker give 6 solid innings. Keep the team in the ball game. I do think the Mets are going to score some runs against the pitcher today against the Brewers. We'll get into the matchup a little bit and also the Mets and the Brewers lineup in just a second. The game starts at 2:10 today. The Braves are already started. The last time I checked, they were winning 2-0. I don't know if that changed as of yet. Let me see. The Nationals got bases loaded with 2 outs, and they just scored a run. So it's 2-1 Braves. So the Nationals are now making it easy for the Braves. That's for sure. If it wasn't for, Kelly Jansen decided to make it very interesting. And, again, I still don't understand why the Braves haven't put Iglesias as their closer. And I think it's very stupid on the Braves' part to not put Iglesias in the closer role now before the playoffs, and not if they're gonna throw him in right away into the playoffs for a guy who's never made the playoff in his career, and you're gonna count on that. That's the same thing when I think about Diaz as well. As great as he's been, he's never been in a postseason setting. The same thing that goes for Raisel Iglesias for the Braves. Yes, this is the playoff hat right there, and the shirt, of course, and that's the hoodie right there as well. Which I think the hoodie could have been a little nicer since the postseason is like this big. But what are you gonna do, right? What can I say? It is what it is. They weren't cheap, obviously. You guys know if you bought it, but everybody's like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy I'm gonna wait until the Mets win the division or something like that." Look, I like getting all types of merchandise. The Mets, in their lifetime, is the 10th time in their history they made in the playoffs in their history. So I'm not gonna. I enjoy it when you can, right? Why be a fan if you can enjoy the good moments of your team? And Tim, I don't know why every move. Last time I checked, the Braves set up the rotation for the game in Atlanta, the series in Atlanta the last time, and they're doing it again. So let's be honest. I mean, aren't the Braves in the Mets are always on the Braves' mind? I mean, they have to play narco. God forbid they have to do that. They find every way to try to troll the Mets. Yet they're still, Tim, we talked about this just the other day. Your neck must be hurting. I mean, how long can you keep on looking up at the Mets until the season is over? I mean, my God. The trolling Braves fans are the funniest people, because as soon as Lindor hit that home run, Braves Twitter got quiet. And that's why I don't like a lot of fans, including Mets fans, because I don't like Mets fans talking a lot of crap and then they don't show up when their team loses. The same reason why I got on Mets fans, and if you guys know how much I hate people who only show up when their team is winning and the team that they're chasing is losing. I think it's complete bandwagon central. And if you watch the Yankee game yesterday, more than 25% of Yankee fans left that game yesterday, even though Aaron Judge was coming up in the 9th inning. So that just shows you how many bandwagon fans there are. And I don't care if you think you know baseball or you might know baseball, or if you're a good fan, if you're a great fan. Tim, you don't have to worry about the Mets. Again, the Braves fans continue to not worry about the Mets. Good. You don't have to worry about the Mets. Don't worry about the Mets until, remember, enjoy your wild card series, because make sure you win the wild card series, and the same thing goes for the Mets, right? It's the same thing. Tim, you come on here and you troll, and you're a good supporter of the channel. I appreciate that, but you keep on not worrying about the Mets, and it's the funniest thing, because you're the first one, and others, if you don't care about the Mets, why come on a Mets channel and troll? That's what I don't understand. Like, it don't make sense to me. Like, I think if you're an adult, and Tim, I believe you are, if you're an adult, act like one. It's very simple. And I don't think and that goes for Mets fans too. Believe me, you guys know I get on Mets fans as much as anybody else, right? I trolled a couple of Mets. I completely destroyed a couple of Mets fans who the other day came in the chat. I don't troll. You know what trolling is? Going on a Braves channel and talking shit for no reason when both teams are really, really good. It's just stupid. And it's childish. And again, if you want to be in your playpen and, play narco and be cute, yeah, Tim, but that's what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And I got on Mets fans the other day when they came in the chat saying they went to Braves channels and started talking shit. That's stupid to me. I don't think that means anything. What does that do for you? If that gets you off, then you're just a troll. You're just a child. That's what children do. Like when you're picking on a kid, that's what you are. And that's what most fans are. And it's stupid. It is. And it should be embarrassing. You should be embarrassed coming on a Mets channel By the way, the Braves are playing. I can show you the Braves channel is running right now when there's a Braves game going on. Like that's what like if the Braves weren't playing or they weren't playing until later, come on the channel, have fun. But your team is playing, and you talk about Mets fans talking about the Braves and always on their mind. I got more Braves subscribers than Yankee subscribers. Why is that? Because you guys love to think, you don't have to worry about the Mets. All of a sudden, you got to worry about the Mets, and it annoys you. Because if the Braves don't care about the Mets, why are they playing Narco? I just wanted you to answer that, Tim. You don't have a good answer. Tim, come on. That's funny. You can go on. There's about 3 Braves channels that are running right now. I mean, you come on the Mets channel to troll. You don't come on the Mets channel to do anything else but troll. Just because you're a subscriber of the channel doesn't mean you're not a troll. I mean, come on. I mean, you don't have to be an adult in this situation. Tim, who is playing Narco? You're a Braves fan. You should know. They do it all the time in Atlanta. Every time they win, they play Narco. When the Mets lose, they play Narco. That's what they do. So congratulations. I tell you, keep trolling. It's cute. All right, so we're going to go right to the Mets versus Brewers right now. We're going to go through the pitching matchup and the lineup. So let's get it done right now. And let me just change it over to a little bit of a peeling setup so you guys can enjoy that. There we go. So let's go over to game day right now and check out the pitching matchup. Adrian Hauser for the Brewers against Taijuan Walker for the Mets. And we're going to look at the Mets lineup right now. Brendan Nimmo leading off playing center field. Francisco Lindor batting second playing shortstop. Jeff McNeil batting third playing left field. Pete Alonso playing first base cleaning up. Daniel Vogelbach DH and batting fifth. Tyler Naquin batting sixth playing right field. Eduardo Escobar batting seventh playing third. Luis Guillorme batting eighth playing second base. And Tomas Nido batting ninth. That is your lineup for the Mets. I do notice that Luis Guillorme is playing every day, which I like. Moving McNeil around left field, second. I like that a little bit as well. I still don't like McNeil in that third spot. I don't know why, but I'm not going to kill the lineup right now. The guys that are in there, it'll be a lot different with Marte, who, oh, by the way, let me give you a little update on Marte. He's hitting and throwing the ball right now, so he could be back probably for the Marlins series when the Mets come back home after the Oakland series. So that's a good sign. So we might be back within 4 to 5 days. So that's good for us because obviously I think Starling Marte is probably one of our most important players on this team because anytime the Mets were struggling, it seemed like Marte always came up with the big hit to get the team rolling again. So with the Brewers, let's check their lineup against Taijuan Walker. Yelich leading off playing third base. Adames shortstop batting second. Tellez first base batting third. Renfroe right field cleaning up. Wong second base batting fifth. Peterson third base batting sixth. Caratini catching batting seventh. Taylor left field batting eighth. And Mitchell center field batting ninth. So that's your lineup for the Brewers for game 3 of the series. So Mets Brewers, Adrian Hauser, Taijuan Walker on the mound. Game starts in about 15 minutes from now. So we're going to keep on going through some more and more of the Mets talking about. We're going to talk a little bit more about the Mets, about Marte. It's clear how much Marte means to this team. Nobody wants to. Well, Tim, you can believe that, but I mean, you were the one that's saying the Mets are going to lose the division in June and July and August, and you're still waiting. Yeah, Alien, that's a good point, yeah. Nope, no single game. It's a 3-game series. The team with if you're the higher seed of the wild card, you're going to get the 3 home games. And the third seed team that wins the division gets the home field on the last seeded team for the wild card. So if you're seeded higher, you're going to get the home field advantage for every game in that wild card series. It's best out of 3. So you just got to win 2 games. And I tend to like that because it is a big deal for any team that, like I said, the only division that is really in question is the NL East, right? And it's actually very interesting because the 3-game series, I don't care who you are, the Braves, the Mets, any team that has to go through a 3-game wildcard series, look, you got to advance, right? So you're not going to use your third or fourth starter to start a series. You're just not going to do that. You're going to start your big guys because, well, you don't win that series, you're done, right? That's basically it. So it's kind of it's in a look. It's obviously the Braves or the Mets are either going to be the two. One of them are going to be the 2 seed. That's very simple, and they get the bye. That's very simple. Whoever loses the division is going to be the 3rd seed and going to have to play that wild card series against. Again, it's still the seeding's still fluctuating with the wild card. Still, who knows? Could be the St. Padres, Phillies, the Brewers. We just don't know yet because it's that close. So when it comes to, let me just get game data here for at the second. So once again, when it looks like yesterday when it seemed like look, the Mets had 4 hits. It's clear, right? It wasn't wasn't like they had 10 hits in the game. They were running around the bases like crazy. It took the power of Lindor and Alonso to get it done. Right. And, we talked about this all year, the lack of power that this lineup has. But when Lindor and Alonso provide that power, I mean, there's over 60 home runs between the two of those guys, a little bit over that. Look, Lindor is playing to the back of his baseball card offensively, right? His average could be a little bit more higher, but again, his home runs are right on his career trajectory. And RBIs, he's going to be over 100 RBIs. Is 12 games left, so he's going to be over 100 RBIs. And that's just the way it is. What what is it, around 9? I think he's like 92, 93 on average. I think it's 91 average for Lindor, so he's above average on RBIs. You can't say enough about his defensive play. It's been even better than last year, even though offensively, he was terrible last year. Defense, he was pretty good. This year, everything about his game has been good. And I know some people got on him, because he goes through those, 1-2 week slumps where he looks like he can't hit anything. And then when he gets hot, he gets hot. But, he is the guy in Francisco Lindor who, when the Indians make the playoffs, and this is the big reason why I want Carrasco on the postseason roster, is because of the fact that Carrasco has done it before in the playoffs. Lindor has been extremely clutch. Look at his postseason numbers in the playoffs for Cleveland. Carrasco, the same thing. Both of them has been extremely good in the playoffs. And you know what? That goes for Canada. That goes for Marte. All these guys have the experience. And, you never know what a guy that has never been in the postseason, you don't know how they're going to perform. That goes for the Mets. That goes for the Braves as well. That goes for guys on the Yankees. That goes for everybody. You just don't know. Just because they're talented, and Alonso's having a really great year, but that does not mean he's going to perform in the playoffs. The same that goes for Brandon Nimmo. Even though we had a little bit of a taste of it in 2016, but he was technically not really a starter yet, as every day as he is now, and a big part of the team. And the same thing when it comes to the Braves. You look at Grissom, you look at Harris. They're talented players. They're top prospects in Major League Baseball, top prospects for the Braves. Nobody really knows how they're going to perform in the postseason because they haven't done it either. And that doesn't mean they're not going to play well, because they can. The same thing that goes for Alonso. The same thing that goes for a couple of guys on the Mets. But what the Mets have in the pitching rotation is experience as well, especially when it comes to Scherzer. We know what DeGrom did a couple of years ago. And Carrasco, those type of guys, those guys matter when it comes to the postseason. Again, you still got to execute. Every team's got to execute. You ain't going to just show up and show a couple of rings that you won and thinking you're just going to win. I think too many fans fall into that habit. Yankee fans are the biggest reasons for that, right? they always rock the rings and throw up the rings anytime, you say anything negative about them. But So with that said, guys, we got about 9 minutes until game time. It's a cloudy day in Milwaukee. They got the roof open. And once again, Taiwan Walker is on the mound for the New York Mets. And, of course, Adrian Hauser for the Brewers with his little under 5 ERA of 4.85 ERA. Once again, I'm going to put the lineup on the bottom of the screen with the pitching matchup. So if you missed the lineup and the pitching matchup, it is on the bottom throughout the game. So you're going to have all that ready to go. And once again, guys, as always, don't forget to please hit on that like button. Waiting for the game to start. And we can see if the Mets can win their 7th in a row and sweep another series back-to-back, which would be, again, they've been playing better. They've looked better. They've been a little bit more clutch than they were over the last month. And the guys that you need to perform when the lineup is not performing, they did that last night with the power. So, if they get a little bit more power in this lineup, I do expect this team to hit, because they've hit all year for the most part. It was only like the last 3 weeks where this team kind of went in a slump together, but they still found the way to win a couple of series. Yeah, that disaster against the Cubs wasn't pretty, but you know what? We really didn't lose any ground during that series, because that was the same time the Braves lost 2 out of 3 against the Giants. So, it's going to be fun. That's what I'm saying. Postseason's fun, but going through a division race at the end of the year is always fun. So I'm just looking at the score. So it's 2-1 Atlanta in the bottom of the 5th. So it's a close game at the moment. See how long that lasts. Yeah, the first game was a disaster for them, but yesterday, the best move was made by Snicker when he walked. What was it? That career minor league Mezzanano, whatever his name was. I think if they didn't walk him, I think that kid would have got a hit, because that kid's been good ever since no, he's not really a kid, but the career minor leaguer has been good ever since the Nationals called him up. Hey, Vahala, what's up, buddy? How you doing? All right, I'm just looking at the comments really quick, guys. Once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. We're just waiting for Mets Brewers to start. Hauser on the mound, Walker on the mound for both teams. Ken's a philanthropist. and a political advisor, if you didn't know. I'm just looking at the comments, guys. Don't mind me. I'm just looking if I missed anything. Oh, Joe, end the lockout. Sorry, I did miss that. Twitter. What's going on with Twitter? Don't worry, Joe. I got it. It's no problem. Alrighty. Just looking at something. All right, so SNY is on. We're ready to go. Obviously, it's getaway day for the Mets. They are off tomorrow. I do like the Mets. I think have 3 days off in the last 2 weeks of the season, the last 12 games. So that's pretty cool. That actually helps. Whatever way you got to set up your rotation, and we'll just have to wait and see. Again, we know the Athletics. They're a bad team, but again, West Coast trips are not easy in September. It's obvious, right? You saw the Braves had a little bit of a different, they had to come out of that 500. I think they had to do a little bit better at 500, considering that they were trailing the Mets. But, when you go on West Coast this late in the season, 500, especially when you go on an 8-9 game road trip, 500 is usually what you want to look for on a West Coast trip like that. And, that's what the Braves did, and the Mets only got 3 games, and it's a weird schedule. Just going for 3 games on the West Coast. What are you gonna do? Tim, don't joke with the implosion. I mean, they're in love with Kenley Jansen, and if you're gonna ride or die with Kenley Jansen, good luck. I don't see why Iglesias is not your closer by now. I just don't get that. He's clearly better than Jansen. Alrighty, guys. So the game's about to start. As always, the lineup is on the bottom of your screen scrolling, and also, God, I got a lot of notifications. Jesus. And also, remember, let me know if you can hear the stream once I put the volume up so you can hear the game. Yeah, Tim, the only thing that I don't understand is why wait until the playoffs? Because it's clearly what they're doing, right? I mean, there's no reason why they couldn't put Iglesias in the 9th inning to save games now. Considering that Jansen is a dumpster fire, he's not the same pitcher. With that 91 miles an hour cutter, it's not, it's gonna fool Nationals hitters, but when he faces better hitters, it's not gonna look good. And you've seen it. I don't have to tell you that. So it's kind of. So it's kind of the fact that I just don't get it, especially with Iglesias, who's never been in the postseason before, when he was with the Angels. So, I mean, you would think you would want to get him a little bit in the groove of closing games, even though he's done it throughout his career, throwing him in a big spot. Have the Angels really been in a pressure situation? No. And he's got great stuff. So I don't understand what the Braves are waiting for. I think it's a bad idea to wait until the playoffs to do that because – you're kind of playing with fire there, but I don't know. The problem that you're going to have is that Jansen is not a guy that you can throw in the 7th or 8th inning because he's not that type of pitcher. So, you got a little conundrum there, and I think that's why they haven't moved him yet. But, hey, if you want to ride or die with Jansen, that's a little scary. Hey, Bobby, how you doing? All right, so we got 2 minutes until game time. Mets versus Brewers. Walker on the mound. Hauser on the mound for the Brewers, just waiting for the game to start. And as always, guys, hit on that like button. Make sure you turn on the notification bell so you can get the notification when I go live, and also when I post videos, because videos will be coming up very soon. At the end of the season, going to do a video about postseason roster, who's in, who's out, because it's going to be very interesting with the Mets for their bench and, of course, the bullpen, who's going to be in and out of that. Yeah, Tim, I don't know. And I always look at the Braves organization and as one of the best front offices and organizations in baseball. So them not making a move now is kind of odd to me. But I don't know. Like, again, if you don't have Jansen in the closer's role, he's useless. Just so you know. You've seen it with the Dodgers. They tried it once they got Kimbrel. And they tried him in the 7th or 8th inning, and he was basically garbage. So he's not an 8th inning or a 7th inning guy. So, yeah. So they showed the idiot reporter going down the slide and broke his arm like a dummy. All right, guys, so here we go. Mets Brewers going to start just now. Once again, listen up. Make sure you can hear the stream and let me know in the chat if you can hear it. All right, guys, just let me put it up. Can you guys hear it? And Steve Gelbs is going to the slide. Let's see what happens. He went down the baby slide.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what was that? You're welcome. What was that? What are you talking
Well, yeah,
about?
Todd, they could put in McHugh, but I'm talking about Jansen. Like, is he going to be on the postseason roster? If he is, I mean, wouldn't you pitch him knowing that the postseason roster, I think, can only carry 13 pitchers? So
that was the kids' version.
Yeah, Gelbs is no Burkhart, that's for sure.
No,
No, Gelbs did the baby slide, the kid slide.
instruction.
Well, McHugh's fastball is very straight. If he doesn't locate it, he gets in trouble.
And I went down.
Like I said, I don't think the Braves bullpen is as good as last year,
You guys are never happy.
which is kind of shocking because you look at the names and you're like, okay, you know, they got a good bullpen, but they got a lot of guys who like to walk the ballpark as well. So, you know, it's not the same bullpen as last year. I think the bullpen was better last year. All right, so you guys can hear the call, the TV call. Let me just make sure. And I'll put up game day right now. All right, here we go. Game's on. All right, Brandon, let's go. Start it off.
Brandon 1 for 8 in this series, and he takes a fastball for a strike from Hauser, and it's 0-2.
Oh, and there's Adrian Hauser. There's his numbers right there. He has missed some of the season. They've had a lot of pitchers on the IL this year. This is his second career start against the Metropolitans, and the only start prior.
True, Tim. But besides Minter's little hiccup against the Cardinals, he's been good for sure.
That day. Hauser spent 2 months on the injured list in July and August with elbow tightness. He was pitching a little better since
you guys can hear it good.
His last start when he got beat up by the Yankees 4 runs in 3 innings last Friday. 2-2 to Nimmo, and the fastball away 3-2.
All right, full count Nimmo. What else is new?
Pitcher. He does not give up many home runs, but he has had a lot of control problems across his career, and the Mets, who are a very patient team anyway, will likely be patient with him today. 3-2 to the leadoff hitter, and Nimmo fights one off.
That's going to be an infield hit. All right, Brandon. There we go.
What a way to start. Right off the fist, a little inside-out trickler. And by the time it got to Jace Peterson, he could just put it in his pocket, and Nimmo has an infield hit to lead off the game. Here's your guy.
Well, yeah, Tim, exactly. That's what I was saying about Minter. He had that St. Louis series was that hiccup, the only one I remember. Well, Iglesias is trustworthy in the season. You know what Minter and Matzik can do in the playoffs because you've seen it. Iglesias, again, just like Diaz, you just don't know what they're going to do in the playoffs until they get there. All right, so leadoff infield hit for the Mets. Lindor is up.
As big a moment as he's had.
Walker is pitching today.
Last night.
Now that it is a little bit of both. It's a check swing and an inside out.
A check inside out swing.
It's like a Meritage red wine. It's a nice blend.
Hey, Matus Rosé. 1-0 Lindor, and he takes the breaking ball down, and it's 2-0. Lindor's grand slam last night gave him 99 runs.
Hauser is the guy that
There's only one switch hitting
can be wild around the plate, so you got to be patient with him.
And that was Carlos Guillen, who drove in 102.
You know, looking at
Tigers in 2006.
Lindor's stats right now, it's basically the back of his baseball card. That's what you want from him. One more RBI, 200.
1934 Detroit Tigers. Switch hitting shortstops. I mean, Jimmy Rollins never had that many RBIs. Jose Reyes never had that many RBIs. Lots of switch hitting shortstops who never drove in this many runs.
That was the Tiger team that lost the World Series to the Gas House.
34. Yeah, good call. 2-0 to Lindor. And he pops one foul off the left side. It's 2-1. Lindor 4 for 8 in this series, a triple, a home run. There's a 7-game hitting streak going. The Braves and Nationals got an early start today. They started at 12:20 Eastern, so that game's in the 6th inning now, with the Braves leading the Nats 2-1. Braves have won 5 straight and 10 straight at home after hanging on by their fingernails to beat the Nats 3-2 last night.
Well, Braves have done pretty much what the Mets have done. Continue to win.
There goes Nimmo. The throw to second by Caratini, and Nimmo, did he overslide? He got his hand back on the bag.
I think Nimmo
stolen base.
Nimmo stole a base. I don't know if he's out. His finger might have got off. We'll see if they're going to challenge. It's close.
5 months of the season without one.
He did beat the throw. I don't know if he slid off the bag.
Right here, it's hard to see. Oh boy, he kept the tag on him.
He did come off momentarily, and then he slapped his hand back on. The question is, did Adames have the tag on him?
He kept the glove on him.
Well, the glove came off a little bit, and so did the hand.
He might be out.
The question is, were they simultaneous? The hand's on. Now the glove's not on him anymore as the hand comes off.
Oh,
And there's going to be no challenge.
No
by the
challenge, so we
Brewers.
stole the base. So runner on second, nobody
how
out.
about Nimmo?
I
Nimmo's
just
stealing the
perfect
base.
there
All
for
right.
Nimmo.
Jeez.
So after going 5
Nimmo's
months
fast,
without
man.
a
If he can
steal,
learn to
he's
steal
got 3
bases, he
now
can have 30 stolen
in
bases for
September.
the year.
And the Mets
If
are
he
in
learns how to steal
scoring position.
bases.
Well, I've
All
got to
right.
believe that
Early runner in scoring position.
You know, Pete's got a stolen base. He's got 5. Pete this year, I think Brandon maybe said, "Oh, Pete can get 5. I can get 5."
I mean, he beat it easily.
Doesn't take great speed. He has great speed. Might be the fastest.
Oh,
of
he's
all time.
off the bag.
Yeah, but I don't think the tag was on him when he was off the bag, Keith. I think the tag came off
Come on,
at the
Frankie.
same time the hand came off the bag.
Popped up.
This
Not what
popped
you
up in
wanted.
the
Should be
infield,
infield
right
fly.
near the mound. Who's going to take it? It's Adames who takes
One out.
charge of it.
Oh,
And that's the first out of the game.
very nonchalant catch and then pop up. Goodness.
That was a hanging breakable over the middle, too.
Moderna Brewers, a defense. Caratini back behind the plate. Jace Peterson, kind of the utility man.
Well, you know what
He's
happened
at
with
third
Adames?
base. He started
He
the game out in left
Picked
field
up
early in
his,
the series.
he kind of like
Mitchell and
fell a
Taylor
little
had
bit,
kind
so I
of
think that's
played
how the tag lost as
back
well.
and forth. They both played center field. That starts in center field. Renfro back in the lineup.
Yeah, I think the Brewers are very similar, I said it earlier, to the Phillies. They're the same type of team. They make a lot of mistakes. Their pitching is not as good as people keep on claiming they are.
McNeil with 317 coming into the day.
The Brewers remind me of the Phillies so much. And McNeil right to the right fielder. Damn it. They hit it hard. 2 outs.
Neville will stay at second, so McNeil hit it hard, but that's the second out.
Hauser has a very straight fastball. All right, Pete Alonso coming up with 2 outs. Runner on
He was at
second.
a 3-run homer in each of the first 2 games of this series. In each case, it gave the Mets the first 3 runs they scored.
Well, both. I'm sorry, Garrett. Both were absolutely critical.
2 straight games, Alonso with 3-run homers. 1 to give an early lead for the Mets, and yesterday getting the Mets back into the ball game.
Yesterday, maybe even more importantly, they were down 4-0.
What can you do for another encore?
Onto the shelf in center field, off the batter's eye, to get them with a run, and then Lindor closed the deal with a grand slam.
Oh,
Only David Wright and Mike
Alonso is
Johnson
3
had
RBIs
more
away from
RBIs
tying the
this
Mets
season.
season record for
He
RBIs.
said his
David Wright is
career
obviously
high
number
last
1.
night.
With Piazza, 124.
He's now driven in a run in 8 straight games, longest streak of his career.
And Alonso pops it up, and it might be. And the Mets did not score in that inning. Going to the bottom of the first, no score in the Mets Brewers game. Yeah, the Nets. Look, bad teams blow a lot of opportunities, right? That's what they do. That's why they're not good teams. But you know what? The Braves have played with fire the last 2 games, and they got to be careful because for some reason the Nets, like, out of nowhere, they'll run like 3 or 4 hits together out of nowhere, and it's like, whoa, where did this come from? So, once again, guys, the Mets didn't score in the first inning. Taijuan Walker coming out to the mound, and I said this during pregame. I want to see Taijuan Walker pitch 6 very good innings. You know, maybe 2 runs. I do not think. Because I still think it's up in the air if Taijuan Walker is going to make the postseason roster because I don't think he's going to make a start either in the wild card round nor the divisional round, depending on which one the Mets get into. So, depending on the matchup, if the Mets might need another lefty, it might go with Peterson over Walker. But I think Walker has to prove in his next. I think he has 2 more starts, this one and 1 more, or maybe it's 2 more. Could be 2 more. I think that's going to determine if he's going to make the postseason roster, but I think it's all about matchups. Well, Tim, it's the first inning. I don't think you're gonna, even in the playoffs, you're not gonna walk. You know, Pete Alonso, just like nobody's Aaron Judge, right? You can't pitch him anywhere. Like, the guy hits the ball. You know, every batter has a hole, and we know about Alonso. Alonso can be a strikeout guy, right? You know, that sharp slider outside, if he's not 100% on, he tends to chase those. So we'll see. All right, so here we go. Bottom of the first, no score. Walker on the mound.
The Toyota numbers on Taijuan
Joe, I still think it's up in the air. There's so many pitches. Drew Smith came back. I mean, it really depends on what the Mets decide to do. And I think it's hard to think of a postseason roster yet when you don't know if you're going to be in the wild card round or the divisional round.
He is 7-0 with a 1.53 earned run average.
All right, Ty, let's go.
Last start against the Pirates, pitching into the eighth inning for the first time this year. Christian Yelich pops up the first pitch he throws.
First pitch should be one out, and it
there
is.
to grab it. Yelich returned on one pitch.
Yeah, but you know what, Tim? I hardly doubt Vogelback nor Nick Quinn or one of those guys is going to be behind Alonso in the playoffs. I think it's going to be like a McNeil or an Escobar. And in the first inning, you're not going to walk and put an extra runner on base because if that guy behind him bites you and hits a 3-run homer, well, guess what? Now you're down 3 runs instead of 2.
It's cloudy right now. There was some sun out earlier, but it's expected.
So 1 out so far or 1 pitch?
Louis' future's so bright.
Well, Yelich reminds me of Don Mattingly with the back injury. He was so good with the Marlins, man.
Career 4-hit game last night. 2 singles, 2 doubles, drove in 2 runs.
He hit the ball hard.
Well, I don't know if Joey Lucchese's going to be ready
4 base hits were hit hard.
by the time. Can you trust a guy that's coming back from Tommy John who hasn't pitched in almost a year and a half?
Thomas has been hot for a month. The last 30 games, he's hitting .320 with 27.
Yeah, I heard that stat. That's a nice stat, but
And he's knocking on the door for a 100 RBI season.
Well, he makes the decision for postseason roster. There ain't going to be no day games for the playoffs, so I guess he ain't going to be on the roster. But let's see what he does.
Well, he had a good one. Had a good field.
It's a good record, though. Good ERA. We'll see. Walker's throwing pretty hard, 94, 95.
Walker was just brilliant. He retired the first 11. Then he gave him an unearned run. And he had given up that unearned run over 7. They let him go out for the 8th, which he had not done this year. And he gave up the 2 of O'Neal Cruz that ended his day.
He went.
Did he go? He did not.
Oh, that was close to being a strike, too.
Says no, and it's 2-2.
Right out of the chute, Walker is looking sharp. And I've noticed, Gary, that Met pitchers have been working the fastball on the outside corner to right-hand hitters, or right-handers, obviously. And that is a little bit of, I think, DeGrom and Scherzer. They love that knee-high outside corner pitch. Fastball with a little zip on it is a deadly pitch.
Interesting against the Brewers, who are a fastball hitting team. And a team
Full count to
that does
Adames.
not chase. Draws a lot of walks, hits a lot of home runs.
And he walks him.
Adames not chasing.
I think he got away from his fastball there.
The batter at 16 in the 3rd innings. What's the second hitter he faces? It's going to happen against this team. They're not as aggressive out of the strike zone as, say, the Pirates were.
The Pirates were from a different galaxy.
Dave's killer stat. It starters ERA, second only to the Dodgers. Really up and down this rotation, they have all had good years. Not just the 5 primary guys, but even the fill-in guys. McGill, Peterson, and Williams.
Everybody in that staff has contributed. It's a solid starting 5. And the back 3 tend to, I don't even want to call them back 3. The 3 guys in the back.
Yeah, Adames is a really good player.
Exactly.
That was a good pickup by the Brewers.
They get kind of overshadowed.
The guy can
They
hit.
are formidable.
Rowdy Tellez hit a 2-run homer in the first game of the series. It's only hit in 9 at-bats. And he strokes 1 foul, and it's 0-2.
Roberto, how you doing, buddy?
32 home runs this year. That's 7th in the National League.
Well, honestly, Roberto, I think this, we still got a week until week and a half, basically, until the Braves series. I don't think today's game is going to matter about confidence by the time we face the Braves. I think the Marlins series will probably say something about that. I think yesterday gave the Mets a lot of confidence, knowing that they could have easily had a hangover day after their playoff first celebration.
32 home runs.
So it's a 1-2 count to Tellez, 1 out, 1 on. No score.
Adames at first, 7 steals this year. He's got to be careful against Walker's pickoff move. And Tellez pops
Tellez
one
pops
in
it
the
up.
center.
That might be a little bit of an issue.
Trailing out is Escobar coming
Nice
in
play by
is
Jeff McNeil calling
Neal to make the
Escobar off.
catch.
Good job.
Well done. Ball was in the air for
McNeil's
a long
defensively,
time.
everywhere he
They
plays,
did a
has
good
just been
break on it,
excellent
but
this year.
McNeil was there to
2 outs.
clean it up.
It's a tough sky. Gary mentioned it was overcast. Well, it's kind of the white puffy.
This is what
clouds
happens
up
when the
there,
shifts
and
play
the
because you
ball
got
will blend
Escobar
in.
playing the shortstop position basically,
I think
where he
some
doesn't go
Mets
out
are
that
gonna need
far
some sunglasses.
in that area of left
It's
center.
very glary.
Nimmo.
He did not move well for that ball. He's holding his quad, and that is not a good thing.
All right, so the trainer's out
That
with
ball went
Nimmo.
up in the air, and you figured it was going to be Nimmo's ball, but he never got close to
He's
it.
smiling, so I think he's okay.
The athletic trainer is out. The
We'll
last
see
thing
what
the
happens.
Mets need right now, with 2 weeks to go in the season, is any kind of injury to one of their starting players. But clearly, Nimmo is dealing with something in that left leg.
Either.
And they're taking Nimmo out.
Of course he is.
I don't think it's too bad he's not limping. What I think happened is that he looked at the ball and then he ran real quick.
He pulled up early there. That's why he didn't get there. Yep.
Well, that is certainly
All right,
reason
so
to take
we'll
pause.
see if Nimmo will be okay. We won't know that for a while. He's not
That's those
limping.
day games after a night game.
Might be just a little bit of tightness.
You know, and
We'll
these
see.
players prepare.
See who's going to be playing the outfield now.
I know when I played in St. Louis, Whitey Herzog always told us that we will always take BP and infield on a day game after a night game because we're more inclined not to come out and do our warm-ups and more chances to get hurt. But in today's game, these guys come and they get ready to play.
Marcana asking McNeil, do I need sunglasses? Do you need sunglasses? Canada's going into center, it looks
All right,
like.
so Marcana's coming to center. So Marcana's going to be the leadoff hitter replacing Nimmo.
Where he has played limited innings this year.
Marcana has played center a couple of times this year. So, the arm is not there, but Nimmo doesn't have a great on either. So.
As the trainer came out to have a look at him.
Yeah, I think it's just a precaution. It looked like he just got tight there for a second.
Renfroe, the batter, with Adames at first and 2.
All right, so there is 2 outs.
Renfroe didn't play last night. He was 0 for 4 in the opening game of the series. 25 home
Yeah, it was
runs
like
on
his
the year
upper
for
leg,
the
like a little
big
above his
slugger.
thigh. Maybe it could be like a hip flexor or something like that. Like when you try to make a quick move and you feel something, that's probably what it was.
Never easy.
Why not just take him out and be cautious with that? You can't lose Nimmo there, especially when you're going to get Marte back in the Miami series, possibly the last game in Oakland.
I mean, there is a certain, that's a close play, but Adames gets back. There is a certain irony, is right. Nimmo for 5 months wasn't stealing bases in part because he was trying to keep himself healthy. He steals a base in the top of the first inning, and now he comes out with a leg problem in the bottom of the first. Are they related? Who knows?
I would say probably not, and I would be speculating.
I mean, there's no way of knowing. All I'm saying is that it has been Nimmo's mantra this year to try to stay on the field at all costs, even if that means not being as aggressive on the bases as he could have. And now, after a stolen base, he has come out of the game. Renfroe takes the splitter low.
Walker's just missing his spots, just on the outside corners.
Quite frequently of late. 3 in the last 11 games after none in the first 131 games that he played.
Correct. He was 0 for 2 for quite a long time.
Walker behind 2-0 on Renfroe. And he throws a slider on the corner, and it's 2-1.
So 1 on, 2 outs, no score, bottom of the first. 15
Very
pitches for Walker.
poised on the mound. Good mound presence.
Adames still a very short lead at first.
Ooh, nice pickoff, almost got him.
Pickoffs this year. He is an absolute weapon out there and really causes some very good base runners to shorten up their leads.
There's only one pitcher with more.
What's up,
pickoffs
Jason?
this
Salute,
year. That's
salute.
Robbie Ray, and he's a left-hander in Seattle. He has 6.
Renfroe lifts one to right, and Naquin has it lined up. Back pedals onto the right.
And that ends the inning, so
walk to it.
pretty good inning for Taiwan Walker going to the top of the second. No score. If you're just tuning in, Brendan Nimmo came out. It looking like he was flexing his I don't know what you call it. He was moving his leg. It was like his above the thigh, like he was pointing at. So could be a hip area, maybe just tightness in the thigh area. I don't know. He was walking fine, so I don't think it's. I just think it was just precautionary. Why risk it? You know, that's your center fielder right there. So you don't want him running around like a nut and then cause more damage, and now you don't have him for much longer. So Canna did replace him in center field, so he is replacing him in leadoff spot now. So Canna is the leadoff hitter. Well, batting first now, and you know that's not a bad replacement bat. You know, he's not Nimmo with considering. Even though Canna is really good at bat too, he has nice on base percentage. We don't know the injury. It seems like it could be a hip, an upper thigh. He was flexing his left leg, so he was pointing like a little bit above the thigh. So I mean, it could be just could just be tightness, you know, or just you know when you're standing there and you make a quick movement and something hurts. That's what it looked like it happened. All right, so his quad, okay, that makes sense. That's a little dangerous because if it's a strain, then again, you know, day game after a night game, not enough hydration. It could just be some tightness too, you know. So on Twitter it says quad, so tightness, quad, or a strain. Yeah, some people saying a minor quad strain. If it's a quad strain, you just get them out of there, get fluids in them. Should help him out. I never had a Charlie horse on my quad. I know on my calves, yeah. Nope, not Marte. Injury update from Marte. He's swinging and he's throwing. There's a pretty good chance. Most likely he's going to be back in the Marlins series at Citi Field. Possibly the last game in Oakland. We'll see. All right, so Daniel Vogelbach is leading off in the second. No score.
Vogelbach on a hot streak right now. Last 4 games, 6 for 13 with 7 runs driven in. And he takes a strike from Hauser. Vogelbach who applied his trade here in Milwaukee for the last 2 seasons. Got a nice hand.
There you go, Christian. Can't forget those Scooby snacks.
Hauser tries the curveball and misses away 1-1.
In the first game of the series, he got an RBI double into the left center field gap, opposite field, which is impressive. He's kind of likes to pull.
And Hauser missing with another curveball, and it's 2-1. Adrian Hauser, 29 years old, started out in the Houston organization, 2nd round pick out of Tahlequah, Oklahoma. And the Mets are responsible for him being a Brewer. That's it sharply.
And base hit through the shift for Vogelbach. Leadoff hit.
They had 3 on
that
the
was
right
a.
side, and Vogelbach was
he hit it through the shift. Hit him where they ain't.
The Mets' second hit.
Even though it seemed like the whole team was there. I agree, Tim. Marte.
Well,
No, everybody talks about Alonso and Lindor. Marte is the most important player on this team. Even when the Mets are struggling, it seemed like Marte always got a big hit.
So the Mets will lead off base runner for the 2nd straight inning.
All right, leadoff hit for Vogie. 2nd hit of the game for the Mets.
Uncanny numbers against Hauser. 6 hits in 9 career at-bats, including a home run.
So Nickman got good numbers against Hauser. That's why he's in the lineup today.
They're hitting .313 against him, but especially vulnerable.
Yeah, Kevin, it probably was the injury.
Anyway, Hauser was in the Astros organization, and remember in 2015, the Mets.
So lefties against Hauser is batting .313, 5 home runs, and an OPS of .878.
The Mets eventually canceled that trade, and so the Brewers wound up trading Gomez to the Astros. And that was the deal that brought in Josh Hader and Adrian Hauser. That's off the end of the bat. And they're going to go to second and get Vogelbach. That's good awareness by Peterson. Even with that ball hit so slowly, he knew he had a chance to get Vogelbach, and he did.
Well, that was it slow, and they got the lead runner, so 1 out. Nick went on first.
With anybody else running, you're just going to automatically go to first with that ball.
Correct. Is that a 5.6 or a 5.4, Gare? I think it's a 5.6.
5.6, yeah.
Yeah, Adamas is covering.
So Naquin replaces Vogelback at first with one out. And that would Royal Escobar, another former Brewer.
All right, Escobar up,
Escobar
1 out,
6
man
in
on
this
first.
series. He takes a slider low and in for ball 1. We're in the 7th now in Atlanta. Braves 2, Nationals 1. Braves try to sweep that series. Then they go to Philadelphia to start a series tomorrow. 4 games, Phillies and Braves, starting tomorrow night. Meanwhile, we're off.
Come on, can you guys like that Doogie Howser
They start a series
reference?
in Oakland on Friday night. And that should be, although the Mets have not announced their starters, Friday night should be Chris Bassett's return to Oakland. Ian Marcano will be returning from whence they came, and Bassett should be starting the first game of that series unless the Mets change things up. 2-0 to Escobar. Throw over. The A's are 40 games under 500, but they've been giving the Mariners fits the last couple of days.
And the Mets are 40 games over. That is just outstanding.
First time since the end of the 88 season that the Mets have been 40 games over 500. Escobar up in the count 2-0. And he fouls back the fastball.
Well, yeah, Joe, that's true, but you got to remember he also has an off day tomorrow, so he's going to rest basically the entire game now, give fluids, rest him up, do some therapy, and he has all day tomorrow too, so he might be ready for Friday.
Naquin with 4 stolen bases on the year. Hauser's occasionally been vulnerable to the steal. He's given up 6 in 8 tries this year, gave up 19 last year. Escobar swings through the
Nice
fastball.
outside corner
2-2.
fastball.
Well, the 86 team is the only team that has won more than 100
Yeah,
games
that
for
10
the
o'clock
Mets,
game
and
is
that's
tough
every
on Friday.
opportunity to
I go to work within
win
an hour
second
and a
place
half
on
of that, so
list this year.
no stream, obviously.
6 more wins.
But Saturday and Sunday, it's 4 o'clock game,
That
so
85 season and 98 wins, it just sticks in my
yeah.
craw.
Well, if they'd have the wild card, we would have been playing in October. We would have
Sunday it might just be a Mets Talk Live because I have something to do on Sunday, so I might not be able to do the day game.
We would have been in the postseason.
89, probably too, right?
Well, 89, I think the Padres pitched this out a long time ago. But then again, we would have
So
had
2-2 count to Escobar, 1 on, 1 out, second inning.
2-2 coming. And Escobar gets under
Escobar
one to
hits
center
one,
field.
but just got under it.
Mitchell eases back. Looking through the sunglasses. Mitchell
2
puts
out.
it away, and that's the second out. So Escobar retired 2 away. So Hauser in each of the first 2 innings has given up a leadoff hit. He was able to work around into the first inning. And has got a chance to do the same in the second with Luis Guillorme coming up. Guillorme, after a hot start coming off the injured list, hitless in his last 8 at-bats. 0 for 2 in this series. Well, the Nationals just got a 2-run homer from Joey Meneses in the top of the 7th. And Washington leads Atlanta 3-2.
Washington went ahead 3-2.
30-year-old rookie Meneses.
Meneses, that's the guy I was just talking about. Guillermo hits a shot but gets under it as well, just at the top of the warning track, ending the inning. So the Mets didn't get a run there, but we got a little bit of good news, and that's one ahead 3-2. Meneses, that was the guy I was just talking about. The Braves walking yesterday in the 9th inning. That kid has been good. He's not a kid. Once again, he's not a kid. But the Nats finally get the lead after multiple opportunities the last 2 days. Finally get the lead. Still a long way to go. It's the 7th inning, a couple more innings to go. You know, the Nats, again, they're not a good team. They don't got a good bullpen, but we'll see. At the moment, the Braves are losing by 1 run, but that's not a lot. But Ethan, if the Mets and the Braves lose, it still remains the Mets leading by 1 game into the standings. That would be, 13 games left for the Braves and 11 for the Mets. And by tomorrow, it'll be 12 games left for the Braves and 11 for the Mets because the Mets are off. And by next week, the games remaining will be even because the Mets have another off day. So that's where we're at. I think the Mets have 3 days off in a week and a half. So they got Thursday, Monday, Thursday, because they play 2 games against the Marlins at home, and then they go to Atlanta. Bill, yeah. I mean, you make the playoffs. Anybody who makes the playoffs can win a World Series. I think the last 10 years in baseball have told you that, right? It's not always the best team who wins. You make the playoffs, you got a chance. I made this reference the other day that the baseball playoffs is more like the NHL playoff now. Just get in, and anything can happen. I mean, look at the Braves last year, right? They won 88 games. They won the division. I mean, they weren't the best team in that playoffs, but they won it all. The same thing with the Nationals in 2019. You can go on and on and on and on for the last 10 years. Maybe 1, maybe 2 teams in the last 10 years that were the best teams in baseball win a World Series, and 1 cheated. So just have to look at it. Yeah, let's give a little shout out to Aaron Judge for his 60th home run yesterday. That's history right there. That's pretty cool. Tying Babe Ruth for 60. Pop up first pitch should be 1 out, and it is. So I think all eyes are going to be on Aaron Judge tonight. Possibly can get the Maris tying home run, and possibly the go-ahead home run to go ahead of Roger Maris.
For a while, the National League might have a Triple Crown contender. There hasn't been a Triple Crown in the National League since 1937, but Paul Goldschmidt has fallen off the base.
Yeah, but Jason, the same. I mean, what did the Nationals have? Right, the Nationals had really good starting pitching that year.
0 for 4 in this series.
And they got a lot of clutch hits.
It's a sinker low for ball.
Oh, yeah, Judge is going to break the record. He has 14 games left. He needs 2 to break it. Yeah, that's going to happen. Unless he goes into a massive slump, which I doubt.
250 for the season with 8 home runs. And it takes a strike 1-1. How about Joey Meneses? I mean,
Bernard, well, they've been doing their job just like the Braves have been doing their job. Nobody's taken advantage of a couple of games in a row losses for both teams. Oh, that's a nice play by Guillaume. 2 outs.
Beautiful soft hands, and he throws out Peterson 2 out. Well, he also
Ethan, exactly. You take the Judge off the Yankees, they're a 75-win team easily. I mean, they might not even win 95 games.
And he's showing everybody that he can play at this level.
So if you just tuned in, the Nationals just took the lead with a Meneses 2-run homer in the top of the 7th, 3-2 Nationals. See if the Nationals can try to hold it or maybe even add on to the lead.
Year, who knows? But he's certainly going to be in spring training with a job.
Started the day with an OPS over 900. The home run today was his 10th, 25 RBIs in 43 games. And
Come on, Ty.
The irony, of course, is that Juan Soto's gone to San Diego.
That could be in the gap. Oh, nice play by Jeff McNeil to end the inning. Nice play in the left center field gap by Jeff McNeil to end the inning, going to the top of the 3rd. Still no score in the game. Once again, guys, if you're just tuning in or you didn't hear, the Nationals just took a lead on a 2-run homer by Meneses in the top of the 7th, 3-2 Nationals. Going to the bottom, I think it's still the top of the 2nd, still, or just ended. It's 2 outs in the top of the 7th. So Nationals took the lead. Let's see if they can hold it. Again, we all know about their bad pitching in the bullpen, so we'll see how that goes. But it would be nice if the Nats can still win against the Braves there. That would be huge for the Mets, knowing that the Braves lost and the Mets have the opportunity to go up 2 games, going to the West Coast for 3. That's huge with 11 games to go for the Mets and I believe 13 for the Braves. So, and then the Braves got to go to Philly for 4. So, again, I don't think Philly's any good, but you go into Citizens Bank against the Phillies, who are very desperate at this point. And you know they want payback after getting swept by Atlanta last week. So we'll see how it goes. Alien, yeah, it's still like 10, 11 games. It's like 10 games for the Mets to clinch the division. Again, nothing's going to be clinched by either team unless it's by the time the Mets and the Braves play each other. And that might not even clinch it for anybody. It might come down to the last 3 games of the season. So, again, nobody's clinching unless somebody goes on a 4 or 5 game losing streak. And even still, it's not mathematically, it's still not officially clinched. So, just tuning in, the Mets and Brewers have no score going to the top of the 3rd. Yeah, KT, I mean, did the Nationals deserve to make the playoffs in 2019? No, but they won the World Series. I think I have it there, buddy. Let me just move it. Oop, didn't want to do that. Yeah, it is right here on the left side of the corner, the first game on the left. All right, so going to the top of the 3rd.
We went back and looked at the tape and didn't see anything on either the infield hit or the stolen base, but it certainly appeared from that as though he was already hurting when he went to the outfield for the bottom of the 1st. In any event, we're waiting for the report on him. Tomas Nido leads off, and then Canna, who replaced Nimmo, is on deck, followed by Lindor. And Nido's got a 7-game hitting streak going. An RBI single in the opening game of the series out last night. 12 for 26 during that 7-game hitting streak. This is as good a streak.
Alrighty, so Nido is up leading off to the top of the 3rd. No score.
Fouls one at the ground on the sinker by Hauser.
Lewis, what's up, buddy? See if the Mets can get something going here in the 3rd.
Correction to something we just said.
Yeah, you mentioned that Mickey in 56 was the only Yankee, but we forgot about Lou Gehrig, who won the Triple Crown in 1934.
Sorry, Lou.
Our apologies.
Can't leave on Gehrig.
Greatest first baseman of all time.
Is that true?
I think so.
Nido grounds it. Should be an easy out. Oh, very close. Good hustle by Nido. Nido, excuse me.
We'll discuss that.
Trying to move it around a little bit to see what I like.
I'm going to send it down to Steve because I think
I'll leave it like that. I think that looks a little bit better. You can still see more of game day.
I would vote for Keith personally. It's all you, Keith.
But guys, seriously,
the last home run McCann hit was in Arizona earlier in the season. That was his last home run.
That I was doing what you wanted me to do, going down the slide. So I'm going to make it up to you if that's okay. If you trust me, just give me a mulligan.
So a report just came out about Marte. Marte, right middle finger, should be able to attempt baseball activities this weekend in Oakland. So he might be ready for the Oakland sometime in Oakland.
You're going to run? I'm going to run.
Do you know which sausage you're going to be portraying?
I have put in a request to be the Polish sausage. My grandfather was from
Poland. And Canna gets hit again.
Canna comes into the game late, and he still gets hit by a pitch.
Canna, if you just turned in, Nimmo came out of the game with a right quad soreness. And Canna replaces him, and he gets hit on his first at-bat in the hip. Wow, man.
You there?
You're just tuning in. The Nats and Braves are in the bottom of the 7th. The Nats just took the lead in a 2-run homer. 3-2 Nats. Going to keep updating you on the score on the screen. It's right there.
Very funny.
That's very good.
We're very excited about it. Now, you just made my morning.
I'm glad.
All right, Lindor is up.
Protected. They wanted to put a microphone on me, and I was told that that's quite literally too close to how the sausage gets made. So you will only see the Polish sausage and my khaki pants and black sneakers sticking out of the bottom.
Now, let me ask you a question, Steve. Yeah. Are you in it to win it?
I'm in it to not fall on my face or pull a hamstring.
I mean, we've been told that those costumes are very top-heavy. As Lindor swings and misses 1-1, and then it's hard to stay upright. But if you are in it to win it, I do have a tip for you.
Sure.
If you want to win, You have to start on the inside. Don't let them push you toward the dugout. You got to start closer to the field. That's where the winner always comes from.
All right, that's good to know.
Okay?
I'll make my way
maneuver,
inside.
maneuver your way.
Lewis, I'll answer your question after the
I'll
inning.
throw some elbows. That's okay.
All right, I'm looking forward to that. And, I do, just so we can clarify and make sure that we're on the
The
right
Milwaukee
page.
girl in the background.
Since, you went down the kitty
Let's see.
slide before.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Maybe
Maybe I can look. I wasn't really paying attention to that.
Running in the race, you're not being a miniature sausage. You're being a full-sized adult sausage.
Full-grown man. I told you it was just a miscommunication earlier. I'm going to make it up to you guys, right? I really thought I was doing what you wanted.
Okay. 2-1 to Will Lindor, and he shoots one.
Lindor tries to go the other way and foul ball.
Our intrepid reporter
Yes.
is always on the case.
You know what I'm getting a little suspicious about here? About Canna getting hit so much. He got hit last year a lot. Is it because he's taking his time to get in the box that pitchers are hitting him on purpose? Something, not saying all, but is he getting the pitchers ticked off where they're hitting him like, get in the box? I'm wondering.
Well, the test will be next year when he can't linger and has to get in the box.
Right.
If he doesn't get hit, then you'll know that maybe that theory was correct. Lindor popped up to short his first time up.
Oh, that was the pitch right there. A hanging slider. Missed it.
Deal on deck.
Braves have one on with one out, trailing by 1 run in the bottom of the 7th.
Hauser has spent most of the early portion of this game pitching out of the stretch. He's had a leadoff base runner each of the first 2 innings, a one-out base runner here in the third. And Lindor puts one foul. "99 RBIs, 92 runs scored for Lindor. He's got a shot at.
When I went to the Giant game on Sunday, man, I got freaking
He's always
burned.
indicative of a healthy season.
13 games left.
Or 12,
The 12.
11 after today.
Come on,
Oh,
Frankie.
the number on his back.
Frankie putting a good at bat together here, fouling off good pitches.
12.
Where did I get
1,
that?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
You
12.
know the count.
She has a website.
I love to count.
7th pitch of the at-bat coming to Lindor. And he drives one to right field. Renfroe
Again, right
there
at
to make the
Renfroe in right field.
With
Damn
the
it.
second hard line drive to Renfroe. McNeil hit one in the
God
first inning.
damn it.
Now
Hit
Lindor
hard.
scorches one into an out.
I hate that so much.
3. Fortuitous.
But that's baseball
Out
season.
right there. That was right down the pipe. I could see why.
A little bit more launch angle on that. That ball's in the second deck in right field. All right, Jeff. Jeff McNeil, his first time up. Same thing. Hit a rope to right field and got nothing out of it.
Eyes light up.
Hauser had an outstanding year last year. He made 26 starts for the Brewers, worked to a 3.6
Yeah, that's gotta find the grass,
for the
Ken.
season. Yes, second half especially was strong, but
Come on, Jeff.
this year's been a
Let's
little
go.
bit different.
2 outs, 1 on. Top of the third, no
He
score.
definitely intervened. He was out for a couple of months dealing with elbow tightness.
The last year in his 26 starts, the Brewers were 18-8.
Well, the Brewers have just fallen off that much with their starting pitching the second half of the year. It's been such a strength for them the last few seasons, and that might be the thing that keeps them out of the postseason. McNeil whacks one towards
McNeil's
the
left
line,
field,
moving over his
and they're
Taylor,
playing
he makes
the
running
line.
grab.
3 outs. So playing the line on Jeff McNeil in left field. If he's playing straight up, I don't think he gets to that ball, but going to the bottom of the third, no score. Yeah, it's it's a close game over there in Atlanta. Nats did take the lead in the top of the 7th. Braves do have a run around with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. So with that said, the Mets do not score in the top of the 3rd. Getting to the bottom of the 3rd for the Brewers coming up. Walker coming back onto the mound. Nimmo, it looked like, well, they say it's a quad. It's like quad soreness or a strain, quad strain. I don't think anybody thinks it's serious. I think he just felt something, and most importantly, you take yourself out of the game before it gets worse. So, you don't want to patrol in center field. We have an off day tomorrow. He basically played 1 inning today, so you rest him, you give him some little bit of therapy, fluids, and he should be okay. I don't think it's going to be much more than that. I think he took himself out at the right time, so we'll see. So the bottom of the 7th, and the runner on with 1 out, still up there still. But I think he'll be okay. Again, he's got an off day tomorrow, so by the time we go to Oakland, so we'll see what happens there. But Canada did replace him in center field and in the leadoff spot. Once again, guys, if you're just tuning in, don't forget to hit on that like button. You know what, man? Even bad teams win. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just never know. It takes one swing. Again, I don't expect the Nats to hold the lead, but, wishful thinking, I mean, the Jets did win a game. You know what I'm saying? Anything can happen. Sorry, Joe. Sorry about your Jets. I didn't mean to be mean about the Jets. But yeah, since we're waiting for the game to come back on. So Monday night, Giants Cowboys, the best quarterback on the field is going to be Cooper Rush. All right. Bottom of the 3rd, no score. Tyrone Taylor on the leading off.
The order for Walker in the 3rd, Taylor, then Garrett
Is going to the 8th.
Long was able to get through the first 2 innings on just 22 pitches. So we throwing a couple of curveballs early in this game after featuring that pitch in his last start against the Pirates. Here goes the slider, and it's outside. It's 1-2. Of course, the splitter has been his best weapon this year, and he's
all right, see if Walker can get another quick inning.
And got great results with it. Statcast powered by Google Cloud.
Thank you, Consuelo.
And that fastball just missed, and it's 2-2. But his last couple
of
starts,
yeah, Lewis, I'm sorry.
The splitter was prominently
damn it, I missed
after
the
having to come out of the start with blister issues.
Hold on.
The splitter puts a little more pressure on that blister.
Yeah, when it comes to the division, Lewis, nice pitch by Walker, strikeout, 1 out. So Lewis, when it comes to the Mets with the layoff, with the bye, because this team is older, and is the oldest team in the league, I don't mind that bye if you win the division, only because you can rest up Scherzer, you can rest up DeGrom, you can rest up all your older guys, and I think that would help. That's going to help more than hurt, to be honest. You don't want to risk that division, that wild card series. You just don't. Ground ball should be 2 outs. It's going to be close. Ooh, oh, he's safe. Oh, Taijuan Walker was late to the bag.
It is his number 1 tool, and he showed it off there. That was a routine play, and Mitchell just beat Walker to the bag for an infield hit.
Walker did not get off the mound as quickly.
When Pete makes the shovel pass here, he's got to run towards Walker. I think he got stepped on a little bit too. Let's see. No, he didn't. He was kind of.
Oh, he might have.
No. I think what happened was just you step and it jolts your heel right there, and a little bit of your Achilles tendon when you hit that bag wrong like that.
All right, Ty, come on.
So there's the first hit for the Brewers. Mitchell using his speed to beat out an infield hit. And now here's Yelich, who flied out to left his first time.
See what Walker can do here. Get out of 1 out, 1 on in the bottom of the 3rd. Ooh, where was that pitch?
Outside for ball 1. Yelich 2 for 9 in this series and a couple of doubles in the game on Monday. In fact, he had the first hit for the Brewers in that game after Scherzer was perfect for 6. Double against Tyler McGill.
Oh, that was the same pitch, and he called it a ball the first time. That was strike. You'll see it on game day. I don't get it. These umpires are so inconsistent, man.
Mentioned earlier in the series that Yelich has the highest percentage of ground.
Yeah,
balls
I think Pete could have probably
in the majors. So as a
rushed to
consequence,
the bag and probably would have got it.
Fast. He's a double play candidate. Mitchell 4 stolen bases in his brief tenure in the big leagues. This is only his 13th start. He had 17 in the minors before he was called up. Yelich's ground ball rate is 58.9%. That's 3% more than anybody else in the major leagues.
Just
Goes
inside.
inside, 2 balls and a strike. Mets of the infield spread out. And Yelich skies one with his
Popped
shallow
up.
left.
It's going to be some trouble there.
Busy early in this game.
Oh, nice catch by Escobar.
To make the catch.
Wow, that was dangerous.
Jeff get hurt on the shoulder there, had a bad fall.
Looked like it was going to be McNeil's ball, but Escobar stayed with it and made the reaching grab. And
McNeil went
tumbling. And now
tumbling.
he'll get some attention.
Let's see if he's okay.
Jolted his shoulder on his fall, I felt. I think he's going to be okay.
McNeil's okay.
Trainer away. So
That was a dangerous play right there. Left the divot.
kicks up his divot. As Nalfree generally would be replacing the divot, but doesn't have
2
that
outs.
imperative here. Well, that was quite a play by Escobar.
That was a nice play by Escobar. No
But
fear.
it's a sigh of relief
That was
he
dangerous
appears
there.
to
They
be
could have easily
okay.
collided,
This was a
but Jeff
very
Neal got out of the
dangerous
way.
play here. It could have been disastrous. You see, McNeil kind of fell hard.
Yeah, but he did a good roll.
He did a good roll. I think he more hit his knee, and that's what took up that divot right there.
He rolled to avoid something more serious.
Yeah, watch his knee. Yeah, right there. That's what did it. He rolled nicely.
All
I
right, 2
think
outs.
McNeil could have caught that ball. That's unfortunate that he and Escobar didn't collide. Escobar made a nice catch, and that's the second out. Now Willie Adames with 2 out and a runner at first.
All right, Ty, come on.
With these games coming down the stretch of the season, nothing makes you shudder more than the idea that you could lose a player or two. And was already left the game, and McNeil, fortunately, appears to be all right. Adames drew a walk his first time up.
33 pitches for Taijuan Walker. 2 outs in the third, no score. Willie Adames has been a pest in this series.
There goes Mitchell. That's line and caught.
All right, Frankie, good job. 3 outs. Ball was hit hard. The runner was going, but Lindor was playing right where he needed to. All right, so end of the third. Still no score. Mets are coming up in the top of the fourth. Once again, the Nats Braves going to the bottom of the 8th. The Nats have a slim 1-run lead, 3-2, going to the bottom of the 8th with the big boys up for the Braves. So see if the Nats can hold on there. They didn't add on in the top of the 8th, but we'll see. Maybe they'll sneak a win out of there, which would be huge for the Mets going to the middle half of the innings and maybe gain a game on the Atlanta Braves. But the game is not over yet for either side. Once again, guys, if you're just tuning in, don't forget to hit on that like button. And if you are a new subscriber, do not be shy. Say what's up and where you're from. Well, Tim, in the beginning of the year, Tim, I believe I picked the Astros, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, but I do forget who I picked. That's it's hard not to pick the Astros because they just are so good still. Joe, if I click game day for the Braves, it's gonna be it might just crap out on me because game day is weird sometimes when you keep it on for so long. Yeah. So Tim, it's hard. I think I had the Mets and the Braves. Oh no, I didn't. I'm lying. I think I had the Mets and the Dodgers. In the NLCS, I believe, but I think I have the Astros winning it all. Don't hold me to that. I believe I have them though. Yeah, Riley, where they hit. Well, boy, fun. What the big boys do in those lineups, man. They beat up on the bad pitching, man. It's crazy. All right, so top of the fourth, Mets Brewers no score. Hauser is pitching well just as much as Walker is, so see if the Mets can get on the board here and put a little pressure on the Brewers. The grounds crew is fixing the divot that McNeil left.
The turf.
Alonso leading off.
Alonso leads off the fourth inning and takes a strike from Adrian Hauser. He fouled out to the catcher his first time up. That's been base runners in each of the first 3 innings, but Hauser has been equal to it. Alonso back and Nate went to bat in the fourth. He takes one more on the knees, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, Hauser's pitch well, not really. 43. That's still pretty good, actually.
Umpires have that habit of trying to snatch the ball up into the strike zone, and I think the better umpires just don't buy it.
Well, they do it when it's a strike, and I just feel if it's a strike, hold your glove there. And then you can hold it there and then turn your head and go, where's my glove? Does that look like a strike to you?
Got a rookie umpire behind the plate today, Dan Brazell.
Come on, Pete.
Good eye, Pete. That's Pete's discipline right there. Pete's been going up the middle. He's been covering the breaking ball, covering the outside corner, but he's taking that up and in pitch. That is good.
That's a good eye by Pete Alonso, taking that high pitch.
Of work in the cage, taking that in the cage, and focus, concentration.
You know, after the game last night, Craig Counsell, the Brewers manager, made the point that both of Alonso's home runs in the series came on balls that were down.
Right.
So, you know, if they're seeing that, you know they expect to pitch up. The problem is you got a pitcher in Hauser who's a sinker ball pitcher.
Correct.
How does he attack Alonso if he's a guy who's generally working down in the zone? Kind of puts him between a rock and a hard place. Bounces one on the slider, and it's 3-2.
Well, if you're going to throw the sinker, it's got to be down and in, and make sure it's in and off, maybe off the plate.
Well, that's what Burns was trying to do the first game, trying to throw a changeup low and in, but he didn't get it down enough and beat it.
Full count to Pete, top of the fourth. No score.
No.
Never heard of it.
Is that on the Food Channel? 3-2 coming. Ground ball.
Alonso ground ball through the shift. It's going to be an easy play. Adames is just everywhere on the field.
So Alonso retired.
So not a strikeout for Hauser.
All right, Bogey got one of the 2 hits in the game so far for the Mets.
Total for this day and age. Hauser 6.3 strikeouts per 9. Walker 7 strikeouts per 9. Those used to be standard numbers. Now they're very low numbers in the pantheon of 2022 baseball.
Alex, thank you, buddy. Hopefully all is good with you, buddy.
Here's Vogelback, who has one of the Mets' 2 hits. Singled through the shift into right
Vogelback's
center.
up for 1 out in the top of the fourth.
Vogelback now has hit 5 straight games and gone 7 for 14 with 7 RBIs in that stretch.
Yeah, I guess he had that long period where it had the drought. He's broke out.
Good timing. Inside.
See, that's what up and in fastball. He's got a 4-seamer. That was the intent right there to pitch.
Big shift to the right side for the Brewers.
He's got to throw a straight fastball, 4-seam again.
Same pitch and it's fouled off 1-2.
And he missed that over the plate. They can't always put it where they want to.
No, if they could, no one ever get a hit.
Well, then 250 might be the new 300.
Not a lot of 300s anymore. 1-2 coming. There might be more next year. There will certainly be more hits to be had, particularly for left-hand hitters who hit the ball on the ground when they take the shift away and make all 4 infielders play on the dirt.
Come on, Boogie.
Honestly, I think the playing on the dirt part is going to take away more hits than the two infielders on each side part, because you can still play that middle infielder just a couple of inches to the left or right of second base. But not playing that rover in shallow right field, that makes a huge difference. Tap past
Over
the mound,
back.
trying
Should
to
be an
use
easy out.
Thomas, and they'll throw out Vogelbach,
Two
two
outs.
So 2 up and 2 set aside on grounders to short. The road ahead presented by Empire City Casino. Not a whole lot of road left. Weekend series in Oakland.
Four more series. Athletics for 3, Mullins for 2, Braves for 3, and Nats for 3. That is all for the season. How fast the season goes.
The last 3 games of the year, the ones that were tacked on after the lockout. That Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, October 3, 4, and 5 against the Nationals. Speaking of the Nationals, they still lead the Braves 3-2. Atlanta batting at the bottom of the 8th.
1 out, 1 runner on first. Contreras up.
Here's Naquin, who hit into a fielder's choice his first time up. Gets a breaking ball.
Naquin hits one. Uh-oh, that might be a home run. Oh, okay, that could be a triple. All right, 2 outs, double by Naquin. Good job. All right, runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
Come on. Naquin now 7 for 11 against Adrian Hauser as he unloaded on that breaking ball for a 2-out double.
Another 5 feet. That's over the fence. Hanging breaking ball.
This ball. You let the ball get deep in the zone here. Now watch the top of your screen. Well, we're going to miss it now. Misplayed by Mitchell.
That hit off the almost the middle of the top part of the wall. Just missed the homer by a few feet.
And by the time he recovered, it was too late.
The horses were out of the barn.
Give credit to Taylor, though, because if he doesn't come over to clean up, Naquin gets at least a triple out of this. But Taylor came all the way over from left field to make sure that that carom could be played. So the Mets have their 3rd hit.
See if Escobar can get the first run of the ball game here with 2 outs.
Will try and get him home. Mets are 0 for 3 today with runners in scoring position. Well, as we expected on Nimmo, the word is left quad tightness.
Left quad tightness for Nimmo. So you want to get that tightness out before it gets to be a strain or worse.
See what happens from there. And that's a high strike, and it's 0-2 to Escobar. And Escobar not happy with Dan Brazil.
That's a strike. You kind of read the lips of Merzel, that ball. He said it wasn't up.
Come on, Eddie.
And I tend to agree with him on that one.
Well, the top of Escobar's strike zone should be lower than the top of that of a taller hitter.
Come on, Eddie.
That's too high. Coach Showalter has said oftentimes this year that if you
once again, guys, you're just tuning in, hit on that like button. Watching Mets versus Brewers watch party here in the top of the 4th, no score. Mets have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs with Escobar at the plate.
That appears to be the data. Escobar flying to center first time up. Naquin at second with 2 out. And Eduardo lights one toward the middle. Thomas gets ground to grab it and throws
Game
it.
shift.
Nice play, Willie Adames, who was all over the
Big bases, big mistake on the bases for the Nats. For the Braves, excuse me. Well, Escobar hit it hard, but Adames is playing on the right side of second base and got the out. The Mets do not score. Again, next year, that's probably a base hit up the middle, and the Mets have an RBI. But it's not. Yeah, unfortunately, what can you do? All right, so going to the bottom of the 4th, no score so far. Joe just said Harris got a base hit. There was a blunder on the base pad by the Braves, so there's 2 outs. And what is it, first and second again with 2 outs? going to the top of the ninth. The Braves did not score in the bottom half when they threatened. So last inning for the Nats and the Braves. See what they can do. The Nats can trying to hold on there and give the Mets a little bit of breathing room and get a chance to go up 2 games on the Braves. But it's not over yet. Going to the top of the ninth in the Nats-Braves game. There we go, guys. So see if the Nats can tack on a little bit. It looks like it's going to be the bottom of the order for the Braves, excuse me, in the bottom of the ninth. So we will see. We shall see. But the Mets didn't score in the top of the fourth. Escobar hit a rope up the middle, but they were playing him that way. Adames with a nice grab on the short hop and made a nice play again. We see it with the shift a lot, how many up the middle hits don't get through, as for 100 years they have. The shift takes it away now. That's nothing you can do. But what you can do is continue to pitch well. And there's still no score. You got the bottom of the fourth. Walker on the mound. Tellez at the plate. No score. Bottom of the fourth.
And the curveball bends in for a strike, and it's 1-1. Well, the Braves threatened but did not score in the bottom of the eighth.
All right. 8-9-1 for the Braves in the ninth. So we'll see if the Nats can tack on a run or two. Tellez pops it up. That might be a little bit dangerous. Good job by Naquin calling it off. 1 out. That's a rough bottom of the order, man.
Discussed the team's unsung heroes so far this season. Plus, who they would pick to start game 1 of the first playoff series. On this week's episode of the Mets Pod, subscribe and listen wherever you get your podcasts. Here's Hunter Renfroe, flying to right his first time up. And he lines one on the left field for a base hit.
Well, that was a good hit by Renfroe right there.
Gingerly. I think that's fair to say. Banged his knee, trying to get out of the way of Escobar in the last inning.
Oh, Jansen in for the Braves. Interesting.
After that inning was over. He was slow getting out to his position this inning. And you can see as he approaches this ball, he is certainly not moving 100%. It's one of those things that I'm sure stiffened up between innings, but
you see him
try and play through.
You saw him move that right leg. He's kind of moving it around.
Well, Jansen's wild. He's going to walk some people, that's for sure.
With Demo having already been lost for the day.
When you jam that knee into the turf like he did, your femur gets jammed up into your hip socket. To what degree, I don't know, but that's why he's kind of moving around. I've done that before on a wet field sliding, and it's a jolt.
1-1 to Wong. I mean, right now, it's obviously stiffened up on him, and the key is just to keep it moving.
So you see when that knee got stuck, it drives that femur right up into that hip socket. And that's quite frankly why at my age, my tender age of 68 here, I had to get hip replacement.
Well, I don't think Jeff is a candidate today. He'll keep on the field for another, month and a half, potentially.
I did that slide, breaking up a double play at Shea Stadium when I was young. After about a 2-hour rain delay, the field was wet.
Nice pitch by Walker.
Strike 2-2.
All right. Wong up, 1 on, 1 out. No score in the bottom of the fourth.
2 strikes on Wong. Right through at first. Long hold by Walker. And Wong pops one up.
Wong pops it up.
Escobar comes in to
Escobar calls it, 2 outs.
Yeah, that's the second out. So Wong
Yeah, there you go, Nick. Let's go.
And Walker will run long, 2 out.
Let's go. Help us out,
I'll tell you,
Nick.
folks,
Help us
it's been
out.
fun watching this team play in every aspect of their professionalism on the field, off the field, how they play defense, run the bases, collect hits. It's just been in pitch. It's been a real treat. We got some.
We got 2 outs at the bottom of the 4th.
Jace Peterson, well, he got a whole pennant race to go. I mean, last year,
That's right. I didn't expect him to score another run anyway.
Race for the ages in the National League West. Giants wound up winning 107 games, and the Dodgers 106. And
Nick,
the Braves are not going to get.
I'm glad you are.
But they are putting on the same kind of show coming down the stretch that those teams did.
Come on, Ty, let's go. Get out of there. Let's go.
Setting up a showdown.
Nice pitch.
Strike to Peterson is 1-1.
Walker's throwing a lot of curveballs
You know,
in this game.
You don't know what's going to transpire over the next 9 days before the Mets get to Atlanta. But if it stays the way it is, boy, will that be fun. Fly ball into center.
Pop
Canna
up
has
should
it
end the
measured.
inning,
Canna.
and it does. 3 outs.
Tired.
Going to the bottom of the 9th in Atlanta. Nats 3, Braves 2. See if the Nats can hold on and get a victory there and give the Mets a chance to go up 2 games in the East with just under 2 weeks to go in the season. Walker gets out of that inning, so we're going to the top of the 5th, guys. No score. Mets got to get going with the offense. See what's going on. Nats didn't win yet. It's the bottom of the 9th. Oh, sorry. I forgot to put it back. There we go. Once again, guys, if you're just tuning in, the Nationals are beating the Braves 3-2 on a Meneses 2-run homer in the 7th to give them the lead. They're going to the bottom of the 9th. They got 8-9-1 for the Braves. See if the Nats can hold on there and help out the Mets a little bit. That would be huge. If the Braves lose, even if the Mets find a way to lose this game, they know they still got the 1-game lead. Yeah, Walker's pitching well right now. This pitch count's good. Dom, how you doing? No, that's going to be rough. I mean, what do we got? 11 games left after today? I doubt it. I mean, I think he'll get the 40. 45, so that's a great number, but I don't think he's going to get there. You know, he would have to hit, 1 every 2 games to make it? That's asking a lot. But, hey, listen, he gets 40 home runs in a season and hits about 130 RBIs. That's a really good season for a guy that you expect to be in the middle of your lineup, putting up those type of numbers. So, once again, guys, we are here watching Brewers Mets watch party right here on Talking Mets at Rob. If you're new to the channel, say what's up. Tell me where you're from. Braves are losing 3-2 in the bottom of the 9th. They're getting their last chance to tie or win that game. And we're waiting for the Mets to do some damage offensively. They're going to the top of the 5th with no score. Luis Guillorme is leading off. Let's see if the Mets can do some damage here.
In the lineup, Paul Molitor, Papayan Molitor, Maltar.
And then they had all those sluggers behind them.
And we had Cecil Cooper.
All right, come on, let's get some runs.
330 that year. There's Robin's numbers.
Shortstop and center fielder. He played it both extraordinarily well.
That's
I
right.
think
He was
Dom
MVP
can,
of the American
excuse me,
League that
I think
year.
Lindor can get to 30 home runs for sure.
89.
What a great guy.
Scoreless game, 5th inning. Luis Guillorme takes first pitch curveball low and in from Adrian Hauser. So they've gone to the bottom of the 9th in Atlanta.
Come on, Luis.
Let's
Let's go.
Trying to save it for the Nats, who lead the Braves 3-2.
Come on.
There's not been a lot of help forthcoming from any quarters for the Mets in terms of teams beating the Braves, who have won 5 in a row and 10 straight at home.
I get some runs here.
Guillorme takes upstairs, but then again, I'm sure the Braves feel the same about the Mets. If you look at the standings presented by Google Pixel, Mets have won 6 straight games to maintain that 1-game lead on the Braves. And Guillorme takes the curveball for a strike, and it's 2-2. Guillorme flat out his first time up. Nito on deck, and then
Come on.
Canna.
Let's go.
Mets have had 3 hits. The Brewers have had 2. As Taiwan Walker and Adrian Hauser match zeros.
Guillorme. Oh, nice play.
Hauser will run over
One out.
himself. One unassisted for the first out.
All right, 1 out. Grossman grounded out. 2 outs to go.
Nice
Let's go Nats.
Good reaction by the big guy. He's a big monster. He looked pretty good.
Colin, also from West Islip, former New Yorker in NC, where my family is. Cool. Glad you're tuning in, buddy. Thank you for subscribing, man. Hopefully you keep on coming back for more. No, we can't.
A lot of big arms.
Big men, too. There's Nito, who grounded out short his first time up.
Come on, Tomas. Let's go.
And he takes curveball for a strike.
One out in Atlanta.
Come on, Tomas. Let's go.
Single away, 1-1. Mets with a win today could match their longest winning streak of the season. They won 7 straight late July into the first day of August. Now trying to win 7.
Good eye, Nino. Good eye.
On the last day of summer. The autumnal equinox arrives tomorrow evening.
Come on.
On baseball. That's what it's all about.
Let's get it going, guys. Let's go.
Mets will be there.
Autumn in New York.
That's a win.
Good eye, Tomas. 3-1. Good eye.
He's got a walk. Ezra has not walked anybody today. He's averaged over 4 walks per 9 innings.
Hobby Milner, the lefty, warming up in the bullpen for the Brewers.
They've been heavily used the first 2 games of this series. With the starter going only 2 innings last night. Slowly
Nito ground ball.
Here comes Adames throwing on the run. He gets
2
Nito.
outs. Damn it.
Thomas has just played a real sparkling shortstop today.
He's already had 5 assists and 2 putouts.
So,
The first
quick
14
2 outs there.
He's
Nito
got
swinging
nice
a
glove.
ball inside. Yeah, Colin, but you know what? The long win streaks, it's surprising, but they've been consistently winning series all year. So, that's why they have so many wins.
Came in when Nimmo suffered quad tightness in the first inning. And in Canada's first plate appearance, he was hit by a pitch, and in so doing, set a Mets club record.
All right. Marcana, who
23rd
came in
time
for
he'd been hit
Nimmo
by a
in the
pitch,
second.
and that's the most in a single season.
He's playing center field, second at bat of the game. Got hit by a pitch.
So he
his first
replaces
at bat.
Nimmo and then breaks Nimmo's record. It may be a Mets club record, but it's not close yet to Canada's career high. He got hit 27 times last year to lead the American League. Hauser behind him 2-0. And he hits it in the air. Deep
Stay
to the
fair,
left
stay
field
fair.
corner. Back goes Taylor near the wall. and it
Oh,
goes
foul ball. God damn it.
Ball just tucked away at the last
Ken almost hit a
moment.
shot to give the Mets the lead. Just foul.
And it takes a deep breath.
Just a little bit out in front of that pitch. A little too quick.
Two out and nobody on. 2-1 to Mark. And that's away.
All right,
So
another
the
3-1
second
count.
Straight hitter. Hauser's fallen behind 3-1. Lindor would be next.
Thunder, it's been a trend for both teams. Whenever each team can take advantage, they don't. And it kind of gets hit again. What the hell?
Oh my God! That one ties the
What the
record for
hell?
Mets.
Oh,
That's
my Lord.
105 times now
Wow.
the Mets have been hit, and that ties the major league record set by the Cincinnati Reds last year. As Canada
So
plays
it's still
Peter
1 out
Christian
in the
again
bottom of the
against
ninth for the
Cole
Braves.
second time
3-2
today.
Nets.
Please.
2 outs. 2 outs. Just happened. Grissom
I mean,
was called out on
That's
strikes.
unintentional. He had
2
no
outs. 1 more out
chance
for
of
the
getting
Nets.
out of the way of that one.
And
Wow.
Looks like Craig Counsell's going to the bullpen
Oof, that one hurt. Right in the rib.
in the middle of the back.
Amazing.
And that's 105 times now.
Let's go. 2 outs. Come on, Nats. Let's go. Get it done. Get her done.
The Mets tie a major league record.
Ronald Acuna.
Call the bullpen.
That should have been ball 4.
Brought
Well,
to you by Nissan.
I'll take it. These umpires suck. All right, so there's a pitching change for the Brewers. Mark Canha came in for Brandon Nimmo. 2 at-bats, 2 hit batsmen. Both 1 in the hip, 1 in the rib. Not nice at all. So the Braves are down to their final out with Acuna up. Nats lead 3-2 in the bottom of the ninth. Mets looking to do some 2-out damage here if they can. We shall see if the Mets get some help from the Nationals, and then they got to help themselves. Well, I want Lindor to go deep here. Let's go. Get it together. Got to get it done. Got to get it done. Might get a huge break here if the Nats can pull off a win against the Braves there and avoid the sweep. That's a huge opportunity here with 11 games to go after today for the Mets. Come on. So once again, guys, we're waiting for the pitch and change to happen in the Mets game. Mets have 2 outs. Cannon just got hit by a pitch, so we'll see if Lindor can do some damage with 2 outs and get a run on the board for the Mets. Waiting to see the update of the Braves and Nats. Braves are down to their final out in the bottom of the ninth, 3-2 Nationals. Hoping for some magic from the Nationals here. Yeah, Steve, I don't think they're going to give a one in that spot. It is a tie game. Canada led the league in hits batsmen last year as well. So he's just a guy that is up on the plate, and, well, what can you say? You know, it's very odd. I mean, the Mets are by far the most hit team in the league. Yeah, Canada hit for the second time, and he even start, which is crazy. All right. Halby Milner is in, the lefty for the Brewers, and turning Francisco Lindor right-handed with the grand slam yesterday.
Runner at first.
Right-handed.
First changeup in for a strike, 0-1.
4 2/3 for Hauser.
Come on, Frankie. Let's go. Put number 26 on there.
On me while he's in the shower.
Well, he had elbow problems earlier this year, so they're probably trying to protect him.
Oh, that's not a strike. God, these arms suck.
Milner came into the 4th inning yesterday.
Ken, yes, it does.
Out of the 4th.
Yes,
the
it
5th,
does.
and 1 of the 6th. So he not only got 5 outs, he had a couple of up downs as they call
And
it.
Lindor hits one in the gap.
Left center by Lindor.
Run.
Right to third is Cannon. He'll be
Held him up. Yeah, you got to hold him up there. That was a good cutoff by the center fielder there. Second and third, 2 outs. Come on, Pete. Come on, McNeil. Sorry.
Mitchell doesn't cut that ball off. Canada probably scores the first run of the game, but Lindor goes down and gets one.
That is a good play by the center fielder. If that went to the wall, Canada scores easily. So, chance for McNeil to get a run in here.
Not enough on it to get it past him. With 2 outs, Canada busting.
Come on, Jeff. Base it here.
So the Mets looking to break the ice in the 5th inning. 2nd and 3rd and 2 out.
Taking the dinner.
Jeff McNeil
Come on.
against the left-hander.
Come on, Jeff. Base it. Base it. Could score 2.
Ball well twice today, but he's 0 for 2. Just 1 for 10 in this series.
Against a tough left-hander. Sidearm left-hander.
Knee into the ground, maybe a little bulky as it comes to bat.
See if Jeff can flick one to the outfield. You know, one of those lucky hits. And the Braves did lose. The Nats beat the Braves. Mets have a golden opportunity to take a 2-game lead in the NL East with 2 weeks to go in the season.
Well, lo and behold, the
Nationals helped out the Mets here, and the Mets got to help themselves now.
And the Mets have gotten some help for the first time.
Let's go. Got to win this ball game. Can't take it. Got to take advantage of it. Let's go. God damn it. Damn.
Takes it out, and McNeil running very poorly down the line. Yep, and that knee clearly is bothering him.
I bet it might be his hip. We'll see.
All right, so Jeff McNeil couldn't even get down the line. He is hurt for sure. Didn't get a hit there, so didn't score. So going to the bottom of the 5th, no score. McNeil doesn't look well there. So not a good sign. We lost Nimmo in the second inning. It was a left quad soreness, and Jeff McNeil going for a ball in the outfield. Kind of slid, but his knee got stuck in the grass and kind of pushed his knee into his hip. So that's not good. And I don't know. He didn't look good running down the first base. If I'm them, I'd just take him out of the game. Don't even play with it. You know, if you got to throw Nate Quinn to left and put Ruffin right, you got to do what you got to do. Juju, I wouldn't say that. He's clutch. It's just that, you know. Cody, I do not do the Diamondbacks game. Sorry. Roberto, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, it looks like McNeil might come out of the game. I mean, it didn't look pretty. I mean, you act like Kershaw has like 5 championships. Yeah, they might put Gore in the outfield. That might not be a bad idea, to be honest with you. You know, McNeil's hitting 3. You don't want Gore up 3, but I mean, Gore can play the outfield. He got great speed, so. Hey, Cody, how you doing? So we're in the bottom of the 5th, no score. See if the Mets can get a quick in here. First pitch, pop up, should be 1 out.
Escobar's been busy with the pop-ups today.
All right, 1 out. One pitch, 1 out.
That's the 4th one he's grabbed, 1 out. One of them was the one where McNeil jammed his knee into the ground, and clearly he's feeling the ill effects. Watch him right into first base on that last grounder. Not even a shadow of a running stride. He's still in the game, though.
McNeil is still in left
Nimmo
field.
having come out with quad tightness in the first inning, I'm sure Jeff feels
2 pitches, that's right.
to stay on the field. The question
I don't
is,
know,
how
Ken.
well can he run after
I mean,
a
listen,
ball?
this is what I asked him to do,
That's
right?
a very good point. You want to be out there for your team. And you know
I mean,
that the
Kershaw
Mets
has about
are
4
short
years
outfielders. They could run Darren
more
Ruff
of a
out there. They
career
could run
than
Terrence
5
Moore
years
out there.
than DeGrom. So
But McNeil staying in the game, at least for the moment.
Cody, probably not, to be honest. Unless they're playing the Mets, probably not.
Struck out his first time up. Taiwan
This is an
Walker's
exclusive
been
Mets
terrific
channel,
again. He's
so
given up just 2 singles
sorry.
over the first 4 1/3. Walked 1. There's been only 1 strikeout in this game. That was Taylor, who struck out his first time up. Adrian Hauser, the Milwaukee starter, didn't walk or strike out a batter in his 4 2/3.
nice pitch by Walker.
Slider by Walker, and it's 2-2.
The slider has been his pitch du jour.
Nimmo had
here, as opposed
left
to what you
quad
mentioned earlier,
soreness.
How he threw the curveball his last out.
Not sure how he did it, but he came out of the game in a second.
2-2 coming. And he
Ooh,
got
just got a
that
piece of
one.
that.
The slider from Walker.
Well, Dodgers usually choke in a 162-game
So
season
the Mets have a
in the
chance to
playoffs,
gain
so we'll
ground
see.
and go 2 games up on
I don't know why
the
you're concerned
Braves.
about the Mets when you're not going to be
Nationals
facing them
today,
in the first round, most likely.
3-2. A costly day for the Mets on the injury front. Inside 3-2, and now they have to figure out how.
But Hype, you are a troll. You come on a channel that is not the Dodgers, right? That's what Valhalla is for. You come in talking about Kershaw and DeGrom. I mean, Kershaw, his entire career choked in the postseason.
On the outside,
Nice
corner
pitch
down,
by Walker.
and Taylor knew it. The fastball. Only 2 strikeouts in this game, and Tyrone Taylor's been the victim both times.
I think I have to leave the definition of a troll on the screen. I don't think people know what it is. Again, grown adults troll. I don't get it.
Trevor Gott, who was just activated off the injured list today, is up in the Brewers bullpen. Here's Gary Mitchell, who laid down an
Yeah,
infield
but I think
his
people
first
tend to
time up.
forget.
It looked like a routine
I respect the
four-one
passion
putout
too,
with
buddy,
Mitchell
but at the same time,
with 1 wonderful speed.
You got to remember,
Beat Walker
DeGrom
with
came
that.
up at like 26 years old, 27 years old. Kershaw was what, 21, 22? He has 5 years on DeGrom.
2-0. Splitter in for a strike, 2-1.
So 2 outs, nobody on in the bottom of the fifth. Walker with 58 pitches. Count very low.
And Mitchell fouls one off, and it's 2-2. Respect for mobile height.
I mean,
Hitting
look,
today.
I don't see anybody. Look,
Aikman's double off the fence in
I
center
don't
field.
want
Hardest hit
Judge to
all
come to the
day.
Mets. The whole fact is he's never going to have a season like he had this year, and you're going to be paying him because of the season that he had this
2-2
year.
coming. And Mitchell gets curveball and drills it foul into the netting. Garrett Mitchell called up in late August, making his 13th start. 287 in the minors this year with 5 home runs.
Oh, where's that pitch in the upper zone?
3-2. Christian Yelich would be next.
Well, I'm not one of those people that go on other channels.
Full pitch
You
count
know,
for Tom
I
Holland.
hang out on Valhalla's
61
channel every
pitches
now
for
and then,
4 2/3.
but I show respect. I don't, everybody knows I'm a Mets fan. I don't need to prove it.
The day. And the curveball hit down the left field line. McNeil trying to get after it. Backhands it along the line. Mitchell heading for second, and he will stop. And
Nice play by Jeff McNeil with the injured knee. Good job.
Running a bad wheel. Able to get to the line, cut it off, plan to get away a good enough throw that a speedy runner like
Well,
Mitchell
Ryan, they're both going to make the playoffs, so there's clearly a chance. I don't know how much of a
Well, he
chance.
got rid of the ball so fast.
And fortunately, he's
All right, what's up?
a right-handed thrower. I mean, he just got rid of it so quick.
Well, honestly, Mets Yankees, nobody would care across the country except for the New York fans, to be honest. Same thing in 2000. It was one of the worst rated
No doubt.
viewership
That's big.
in
Keeping
World
that
Series history
runner at first base.
because nobody
Yelich
cared outside of
is
New York.
2.
Got to be careful here with
The
Yelich.
ball that McNeil got shaken up on in the third inning. A pop up to shallow left. Looked like Jeff was going to make the play, but then Escobar at the last moment reached up, and McNeil trying to get out of the way and jammed his knee into the ground.
Jeff McNeil's a grinder, man. He clearly
Mitchell at
is
first, a
hobbling out
short
there.
lead. He's been told about Taiwan Walker.
And yes, they've been ready for him today. As we mentioned, 5 pickoffs
Just tuning
this
in, the
season.
Braves lost to the Nationals. The Mets have a golden opportunity to go up 2 games before their off day for their trip to the West Coast for 3 games against Oakland. Should end the inning, and it does. All right. Solid 5 innings for Taiwan Walker. Going to the top of the 6th. Still no score. Mets got to get some runs here. Got a big break with the Nationals avoiding the sweep against the Braves there. Yeah, I think it's really hard to bash DeGrom and bring up Kershaw when we all know Kershaw is a Hall of Famer. But he is also the same pitcher who's choked many times in the playoffs. And again, I'm sorry, I cannot look at a 60-game season and think it's legitimate. I'm sorry, I can't. Even if the Mets would have won the World Series, listen, fans can buy the shirts, the flags, the rings, whatever you want to buy. Fans do that. That's why you do that, no matter what. But you have to be realistic. It's a 60-game season. Listen, your own player in Mookie Betts said DeGrom is the best ever that he's ever seen. So you should talk to your boy Betts. The boy on your own team said that in an interview after the Mets beat the Dodgers 2 out of 3. So it's not Mets fans saying that. It's not just Mets fans just being annoying. Your own player said it. So if Mookie Betts said it, who is your MVP on your team, then I don't know what to tell you. You're just not going to agree. Again, Kershaw had 5 more years ahead of DeGrom in his career. What is this, his 11th year, 12th year in the league for Kershaw? This is DeGrom's what, 7th? I mean, sorry, I'm not always right. I always admit when I'm wrong. But again, you can't look at Kershaw's career and look at DeGrom's career right now when it's not over. Kershaw is still pitching well. Both careers are not over. You can't really just say that now. DeGrom can go on for 5 more years and pitch as long as Scherzer for 5 more years and get 2 more Cy Youngs. That'll be more than Kershaw. So here we go. Top of the 6th, no score in Milwaukee. Pete Alonso leading off.
At the Mets.
I think it's hard to bash DeGrom or Kershaw. They're great pitchers. Unfortunately, DeGrom played on bad teams and never got a lot of wins when Kershaw played on great teams. That's a big difference as well. All right. When DeGrom got his opportunity in the playoffs, he beat the Dodgers.
Alonso as we start the 6th inning. Not just activated from the injured list today.
All right, Trevor Gott is in the game for the Brewers. The second reliever of the game. And then ground ball to Pete Alonso. DeGrom, see, that's a big nomer that nobody tends to get. DeGrom is not always injured. Last year was the first time he's injured and missed basically 1 full year. So it's not true. Look at the last 3 years before last year. He's pitched every one of his games, 30-plus starts. So that's wrong. Again, let's talk facts here. Don't put up information that's garbage. Kershaw, he's always hurt. You can't. Let's talk about Kershaw.
4 hits today, singled in the second. Takes outside God ball.
Well, this year he hasn't pitched 7th and 8th innings. Years past he has. That's another wrong fact.
God was down with a forearm strain since the middle of August, so he missed about 5 weeks. Making his return today.
I mean, his career ERA is what, under 2?
Max Scherzer and Tyler McGill coming back from the Mets. For the Mets off the injured list.
He will do it in the playoffs.
They're looking for as many hands as they can get coming down the stretch. The Mets with a chance today to stretch their lead to 2 games, but these are even more desperate times for the Brewers, who are trying to make the postseason.
So 1 out in the top of the 6th, no score. Vogelback is up.
Games behind the Phillies for the final spot. It's a long way to Vogelback, 3-1.
Oh, they're getting ready.
Wait a second. That's the chorizo. That's not our man. We have a horse in this field. Do they have parent-mutual windows for the sausage race? Outside.
All right, nice 1-out walk from Vogelback. See, this is the time when you would like a walk from Vogelback, even though they're not taking him out of the game probably for a pinch runner, even though they might.
Steve Gilbs. That's the Polish sausage. He's number 2, and Gilbs will be wearing that uniform. Not number 1 bratwurst, not number 3 Italian, not number 4 hot dog, not number 5 chorizo. Focus on number 2.
Oh, there. That is the pinstripes. You got Met colors on.
Is that him or is that the hot dog? That's the hot dog. That's number 4. Looking for the guy with the shades. Here's Nate.
Oh, I'm an upper deck guy, Hype.
He fouls one off
to be honest.
glove hand of Caratini, and that stung him.
I like upper deck behind home plate. It's the best seat. See everything. And the food is really good. So pick your choice. It's a lot going on.
Sometimes it just hits a bad spot, even when it hits the net. You're right.
All right, Tyler Naquin's up with 1 on, 1 out in the top of the 6th, no score.
Yeah, Naquin quick out of the fastball, but he fouls it back, and it's 0-2.
That was a pitch to drive right there. Naquin last time up hit a double, almost missing a home run by about 2 feet. Yeah, when I went to Dodger Stadium last year, I wasn't everybody talked about the Dodger dog. It's a hot dog. It's nothing special. The food's not good at. There's a couple of good things that you could eat, but I'll get the food trucks in LA.
Head on Naquin 0-2.
I had a lot of Mexican food. I must have went to like 7 food trucks in LA. Man, can't go wrong with food trucks in Los Angeles.
Because of his prowess against Adrian Hauser, and he made that pay with a double off the fence in center field in the 4th. Now 7 for 11 against Hauser. Now getting a look.
Come on, Tyler.
Runner at first and 1 out. And that sails high.
Yeah, I forgot the name of this one Mexican food truck. I forgot what it was, but this guy was really cool, and me and my dad we were like, "Oh, first time here." The guy gave us like so much extra food, and I felt bad, so I had to give him I wanted to give him extra money. He wouldn't take it. Like, what are you doing, man? Trying to help small businesses. But he was a cool guy, and it was like the best food truck that I had when I was there. All right, Naquin staying alive. City Field got great options. Colorado was pretty good. PNC was pretty good. Philly was okay. You got to get the cheesesteak at Geno's.
Three infielders on the right side against Naquin.
Come on, Tyler. Staying alive. I like it.
Playing his 39th game for the Mets after coming over from the Reds at the deadline.
Oh yeah, City's better than Shea just because of the ambience of it. Shea Stadium was a cookie cutter, right? There wasn't much to do except watch the game, even though that's what I like to do. But there's so much to do at City Field. It's food-wise too. Nice, good eye. 2-2. Nimmo was taken out because he hurt his left leg quad soreness.
Kobe Milner, who gave up a double to Lindor, but got McNeil on a ground out to get out of the 5th.
Come on, Tyler, let's go.
Coming in to start the 6th. 2-2 coming. And Naquin gets one in the right field, but
got under it. Damn it! Freaking hanger.
Play. Let the second out.
2 outs. Nimmo's going to be fine. I think they took him out at the right time. He's on the bench walking around, so he should be good. Yeah, I heard Mariner Stadium has some really good food.
There's really no update. I mean, it's just him.
Yeah, I've heard that the Lone Depot Park in Miami the food sucks. But you're in Miami. You can get good food anywhere in Miami. So you should be good there. The Cuban food is really good there.
To talk to his pitcher, the pitching coach for the Brewers. Nobody up in their bullpen. I think it's a mystery right now, Keith. I think that Buck has been talking about a 3-week time period before you can even think about playing him. That would take you into sometime next week. But then the question is, can you use him to run before you can use him to hit, and can you use him to hit before you use him to field? Because it seems like ripping the ball is the most difficult thing for him. So it takes on greater urgency today now with
haven't been to the stadium in San Francisco yet. So we got 2 outs, 1 on. Vogelback is the runner, so it's going to take an absolute miracle if the ball's in play to score him from first.
So now Escobar will bat with 2 out, a runner at first. Eduardo is flied out and grounded out 0 for 2.
Come on, Eddie.
Odd game, and that has been pitcher dominated, but with very few strikeouts.
If you go to the Coca-Cola corner, they got a food truck. They got a bacon, egg, and cheese, which is obviously very popular in New York. They got a couple of sandwiches that's all on bagels, which is really good. You should try that. Omer Santos. Yep. I was at that game, Joe. Come on, Eddie. Oh, freaking popped it up. Hangers. Jesus. All right, going to the bottom of the 6th. Still no score. I haven't been to Camden Yards yet. I want to go. The 7 line's going to up. They're doing the sausage race. Steve Gells is number 2. Can he win? Let's see.
holding his chest. And why do they hold their chest? Because they don't want their tops to topple them forward. Because those costumes are very top heavy. And that is, if you look through the mesh there is Steve Gelbs in there somewhere inside the number 2, the Polish sausage.
All right. See
Now,
Steve
he told him
Gelbs
he
to
should get
win.
the inside position, but it does not appear that he is following our guidelines.
Oh, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in that order. It looks like.
So the chorizo has the natural
All
advantage.
right, fans, time now for the Johnsonville Bay in this racing
The sausage race is fun.
Wearing number 1 is the Johnsonville Bratwurst. Number 2, it's the Johnsonville Polish Sausage.
Very
Wearing
enthusiastic.
number 3 is the Johnsonville Italian Sausage. Number 4 is the Johnsonville.
I think Steve Gelbs is gonna bust his ass.
The Johnsonville Chorizo. All right, contestants on your mark.
Don't fall. Don't fall, Steve.
Come on, Steve. Uh-oh.
It's an even start.
Steve is going.
Somebody to take command, and there's the chorizo pulling
He's flying.
And the Italian looking for a smooth between sausage.
Oh, he's tiring.
Get the inside.
Hot dog treating the field. They make the turnaround plate and down the stretch that he comes.
Oh, he's gonna win.
Go, Steve, go.
Yeah, he won. Yeah, Steve Gelbs won. All right.
Gelbs. Gelbs the winner.
All right.
Hear the end of
The
this.
Polish sausage and Steve Gelbs.
I knew he had that leg kick in him.
Can we use that as a run?
Well, he's
That's
absolved
awesome.
himself after going down the junior slide.
That was pretty cool.
He wins the senior sausage race.
That's awesome.
Fantastic.
That's awesome.
Well, that was your All-State Mayhem moment. I want to tell you, his head is going to be so big he won't be able to get out of the costume.
I'm glad I'm not flying with the team to Oakland. I'm going home. I don't want to listen to it on the airplane.
All right, Steve. All right, come on, Walker. Bottom
And
6,
here's
no
the thing,
score.
kid.
Come on.
Willie Adamas leads off the 6th. He told us he was going to wear the Polish sausage suit. Could he have hired a ringer to run for him? Would we ever know?
No, I think that was Gelbsy.
Was that his watch? Because
Also, I recognize his wedding band.
really?
Yes. I'm very observant.
Yes, you are. Back to the matter at hand.
Yeah, isn't that the
Taiwan
truth?
Walker
Well,
plays in 2,
we got
3,
some
and 4
good
in the
mojo
first
there
batting
with Steve
order
Gelbs winning the
6.
race.
Walker
Wishful
launches
thinking,
3
guys.
hits.
Come on.
Walked only 1, struck out 2. And this is with the splitter to Adamas, and it's 3-1. Adamas drew Walker's only walk in the first inning. They lined hard out to shortstop in the third. He's been swinging the bat extremely well. 4 hits last night. And Adamas
Oh.
deep left center. Cannon goes
Damn
back,
it.
takes a look, and that's out of here.
That was the hanger.
The Brewers break the ice.
Ah.
Willie Adamas' 31st home run.
Willie
of the year.
freaking Adamas.
And that sends Bernie down the wheel slide. 1-0 Milwaukee.
Yikes. The one guy has hurt us the whole time. Adamas. Oh, look at that pitch right down the middle.
Belt high. They wanted to go away.
Adamas is a beast,
Didn't
man.
get it away enough, and a little bit up, and he clocked it.
Just got over the fence, too.
Got 4 hits last night. Now a home
Yep,
run.
it's a trend. Nobody likes to take advantage of the other team losing.
So 1-0 Milwaukee. Now Ronnie Tellez takes a curveball outside.
Yeah, that was just a bad pitch selection.
Adamas has been carrying this Milwaukee team coming down the stretch. And the time
All right,
they
just
are
keep it to 1 run.
desperate to try and stay in the playoff hunt. 4 hits last night and now a home run today.
Hey, easy on the Jets. They got their win.
And Milwaukee gets the first run of the day. And now Walker behind for the second straight hitter. It's 3-0 to Tellez.
Well,
who's also
Walker didn't get
dangerous.
behind all game.
Tellez over to the opening game. of
And
this
he got
series.
behind Adamas and had to throw a strike. And now he's 3-0 behind Tellez. And he walks
He
him.
takes a wide ball 4, so after the leadoff home run, a walk to Tellez. And all of a sudden, a struggle for Taiwan Walker. And Jeremy Hefner will go out and pay him a visit. as the Mets bullpen starts to move around. Drew Smith just activated
Drew Smith
yesterday.
warming up, and Peterson warming up.
But it's gonna be
Peterson is
David
warming up.
Peterson, who gets up and starts to throw. So Peterson, who had a nice outing in his reintroduction to relieving against the Pirates over the weekend, gets up behind Walker as he gets set to face Hunter Renfroe. This is what this Milwaukee team does when they're at their best. They hit home runs and they draw walks. Home run on a walk to start this sixth inning, and now Renfroe, who's 1 for 2 today, flied out and single to left. And splitter into the knees for a strike, 0-1.
All right, Walker's got to keep it to 1.
Brad Boxberger is getting up in the Milwaukee bullpen. He's the guy who gave up the 3-run homer to Alonso last night. Renfroe, it's a double play ball to Lindor.
Should be a double play, and it is 2 out. All right, good job.
Exactly
Not going to kill Walker for one bad pitch.
Relieve the pressure. 2 out and nobody on.
Nice split change there to get the ground ball.
Taylor made. No sense of urgency on this double play. Just a routine DP, like pregame ground balls.
So 2 out and nobody on now. Colton Wong, and he takes a fastball upstairs for ball 1. And curveball bends in for a strike. 1-1 to Wong, who twice has popped up to the third baseman in this game.
I don't know if we have Boxberger. We might have. I don't know if it was a different Boxberger, but how many last names are Boxberger? So you could be right. I'm not sure. He might have played when the Mets were like terrible, which is not that recent.
1-2 coming to Wong. He fouls one into the ground on the splitter. Still 1-2. Colton Wong 2 for 10 in this series.
Come on, Ty. It's 1 run, guys. Not the end of the world. We were down by 4 yesterday.
Walker. And he struck him out with a
All
high
right.
fastball.
All right, strike him out. 1 pitch that he left right over the plate for Adames. But it's only 1 run, guys. This is when the Mets started the hit yesterday in the 6th inning. It's only 1 run. We came back from 4 yesterday around the same time. 1 run. 1 swing of the bat changes the game. Listen, guys, I know you want to go up 2 games, but remember, even if we lose today, we still have a 1-game lead and another game off the schedule. I know it's not ideal. We'd rather be 2 games up. We all agree with that. But, you know, it's been like that for a month and a half now. How many times where both teams could have took advantage of the teams losing and they didn't take advantage of it, right? The Braves, we got swept by the Cubs. The Braves didn't take advantage of it because they lost 2 out of 3 against the Giants. And the Mets didn't take advantage of it when the Braves were on the West Coast. So it happens. But we got a couple more innings to go, 3 innings here to get back in this ball game, tie it up, go ahead, see how it goes. Let's see who's up for the Mets. The Mets will have up 8-9-1, Guillermo, Nito, and Canna. So let's see if they can get the job done here and get back in this ball game. It's only 1 run. Again, I know Mets fans were pissed off yesterday during around the same time, 6th, 7th inning, thinking that it was the hangover from clinching the playoff berth, and then all of a sudden Mets Twitter did a complete 180. So stop doubting this team. I mean, it's game 151 of the season, guys. I think at some point you got to stop doubting this team. They've proved us all wrong all year. this team. Oh, then of course you're gonna be pissed off. They had opportunities, right? A couple of men on. Nate Quinn, 5 more feet. 5 more feet. It would have been a home run to left center. It would have been a tie ball game at this point. But we'll see. Boxberger is in the game for the Brewers, and Guillorme is leading off. Let's see at the bottom of the order, who's been pretty good the last couple of weeks, when the top of the order hasn't. Dunner, they did it yesterday. I mean, combined they have 220 RBIs. That's carrying the team.
3-1 homer to beat Alonso.
Well, his 63rd
Sorry, but that's not a good comment.
last
I mean,
11
they have the
outings,
most RBIs between two players
10 hits, 7
in the
runs,
league.
and a home run.
Nimmo looks like he's fine. He's walking around the dugout. He looks like he's fine. He didn't go down into the clubhouse at all. So that's a good sign. And McNeil is still in the field, so everything looks good. See if we can get some done here in the top of the 7th.
Guillorme's not 0 for 2 tonight. Hitless now in his last 10 at bats. Nito and Canada follow for the Mets in the 7th.
All right, good eye.
Boxberger misses low. 2-0.
Now, this is where the Mets have really shined this year, and that is.
Well, everybody seems to forget.
After the opposing team scores.
Ball 3. All right.
With the change up, and now he's behind on
Well, you got to remember, guys,
last night he came in first.
the Brewers are fighting for their playoff lives here. So it's not like we're facing a team like the Pirates. We're losing 1-0. So.
Gets a strike over to Guillorme, and it's 3-1.
Well, I mean, that's also not true because when Lindor and Alonso weren't hitting, the bottom of the order was doing the job when the Mets are still winning series. So, all right, ball 4, leadoff walk. There we go. Good job. Good at bat by Luis Guillorme, who hasn't got a hit in his last 10 at bats. That's a great at bat right there.
Well, there's Taylor Rogers, who just had a dreadful time last night, won 3 and then gave up the grand slam to Lindor.
And Council has been rubbing his forehead and temples this entire
Tomas
series.
Nido.
So now you got Nito, who is a double play candidate, but has been swinging the bat well, but is also the Mets' best bunter. Is it too early to be bunting?
No, it's not too early to be bunting.
Nito could be bunting here. Best bunter on the team. Get a runner in scoring position with the top of the order up. Good eye. Oh, that's not a strike. Come on, Blue. Jesus Christ. My God.
Buck's not happy with it.
So, looks like Nito is bunting here. Let's see. I'd rather make him bunt and get the top of the order up.
He also started the day with a 7-game hitting streak.
Come on, Tomas. Let's go.
First and nobody out. And again, he squares, tries to lunge for
that's
it,
a bad.
fouls it off. Not a good attempt there by Nito, and now it's 0-2.
Now I'll be curious to see with 2 strikes if the bunt stays on. I doubt it. Nito chased.
That was the first time I seen Nito chase a bad pitch while bunting like that.
It's the first time he's failed to sacrifice someone over. His at bat's not finished. You never know.
Screw it. Let him swing. Let's go.
0-2 to Nito, set to swing, and he takes it outside. 1-2.
Well, they've got Wong up the middle defensively, and he's Tellez holding on the runner at first.
Ken, that's not a bad idea. You could try to stay at a double play there.
Right there to set up a first and third. Nito goes that way nicely.
Guillorme is not that slow. He can steal the base if he strikes out here.
1-2 coming. In there for
another low call.
Looking at a fastball for the first out.
1 out.
That is the first strikeout today for Milwaukee.
That is 2 bad calls right there.
Comes in the 7th inning.
Borderline.
That's
I
low.
thought it could have been low. You can always say it's too close to take. It was low.
It was close. But again, Caratini bringing the glove
Look at those pitches.
way up, which is almost like an admission.
The problem is he hasn't called those all game.
You just don't get it.
All right, Marquette up for 1 out. Top of the order.
Since coming in for the injured Nimmo. And he takes slider for a strike. Canada did start the game. Nimmo left in the first inning with quad tightness. Canada got hit.
Well,
by
then it's been all over the league.
to
The
set a Mets
umpiring
individual record, got
balls
hit
and
by a
strikes have
pitch in
just
the
been
5th,
terrible.
as the Mets tied the modern-day club record with their 105th hit by pitch. Tying run at first with one out. Lindor on deck. And Canna takes a borderline strike. And it's 0-2.
Mark Canna last at bat, right before he got hit by a pitch, hit a home run ball foul, just foul. So he's 0-2 now. Canna usually really good with 2 strikes. We'll see what he can do here.
Doubled his last time up today. Canada down on the count 0-2, and he swings
Struck him out. Wow.
Boxberger on 3 pitches. Fans
that was good pitching there.
I'm almost not certain that Boxberger came to a complete pause on that. He kind of quick pitched from that belt. But a slider, just a little cutter.
All right, Lindor's coming up.
Lindor with a base hit against Boxberger.
Let's see if he came to a stop here. Yeah, he did, but he kind of
a quick pitch, he slide step.
Yep, he did.
So Guillorme still at first.
All right, Frankie, let's go.
And Lindor skies one foul back out of play. With his double in the 5th inning, that is extended his hitting streak to 8 games. There's Matt Bush.
Matt Bush warming up for the Brewers. 2 outs, top of the 7th. 1-0 Brewers on Willie Adames solo home run in the bottom of the 6th.
Today, same with Boxberger. Looks like the same will be the case with Bush. 0-1 to Lindor. And that's up and away. 1-1.
I'll take a double down the right field line. That should stroke me, man. Come on, Frankie, let's go.
Most teams do when he bats left-handed.
Oh.
This one up. This one will be a fair ball. Caratini goes out and makes the play. And that retires the
shit. All right. Mets didn't do anything in the 7th. Going to the bottom of the 7th. 1-0 Brewers. Well, that was a bad at-bat by Canna. Striking out on 3 pitches. Lindor had a pitch to hit there. He popped it up. Nito couldn't bunt the guy over and strikes out. So wasn't good at bats in that inning besides Guillorme. Hopefully the Mets can keep it to 1 run and try what they can do in the 8th with McNeil, Alonso, and Vogelback. So if you're just tuning in, you didn't know, you're working, you're coming from work. The Nats beat the Braves 3-2. Helped out the Mets, but right now the Mets aren't looking too good right now with the offense. Can't even get a run in to tie the game. That sucks because the Mets can go up 2 games here with 11 to play, with 4 more series left to go in the season. And that would be a golden opportunity going up 2 games with the day off tomorrow. And the Braves going for 4 at Philly. Man, it would be a golden opportunity, but the game's not over yet, guys. Not over yet. It sucks. We got 4 hits yesterday. We got 4 hits today, but no runs. At this time yesterday, we have 7. So with 2 home runs. So we haven't been going crazy hitting the ball all over the field either. The Mets had opportunities in the first couple of innings. Runners on. Didn't get it done. A couple of strikeouts, couple of pop-ups. Got to do better than that. We're not facing, Cy Young here. We're not. But, you know what? The Brewers are fighting for their lives as well. So, we shall see. Once again, guys, thank you guys for tuning in and talking Mets to Rob. Mets versus Brewers watch party game 3. Mets are looking to sweep the series against the Brewers. Unfortunately, the offense hasn't shown up in the first 7 innings for the Mets. Walker is in the game still in the bottom of the 7th with 80 pitches.
Ball 1.
See if he can keep it to 1 run.
Gave up the leadoff home run to Adames in the 6th. That's been the only run of the game. 80 pitches through 6 for Taiwan. And this is outside Peterson 2-0. Jace Peterson is grounded out and flat out 0 for 2. Walker's given up only 4 hits. Walked 2, struck out 3, but on the short side right now. And Peterson swings over the splitter, and it's 2-1. Its offense has failed to get rolling today against 4
It seems that way, Ella.
Milwaukee pitchers. They've managed just 4 hits over 7 innings. And time's starting to run short.
Just
Fastball
outside.
away, and it's 3-1. So Walker, who was working ahead of the count most of the day, fell behind Adames 3-1, gave up the home run. He walked to Les in the last inning. Now he's behind Peterson 3-1 to start the 7th. Peterson up in the bullpen. And that's ball 4. And Jace Peterson.
That's the same pitch they struck out Nito on. He didn't call it.
He struck the call on Nito twice.
Jesus.
So the leadoff walk is the 3rd of the game.
Ridiculous.
For Walker, who came into the day having not walked a batter in his previous 2 starts, and he looks a little perturbed as he gets set to face Victor Caratini. Caratini's 0 for 2. McNeil made a sliding catch on him back in the 2nd, then he popped up in the 5th. Escobar in on the grass at 3rd. Peterson a base-stealing threat, but like all of these Milwaukee runners against Walker, he is taking very short leads. Peterson has
All right, Ty, come on.
12 tries this year.
Double play ball here. Come on. Ooh.
Caratini takes one of these for a strike. 0-1. Caratini, a switch hitter, better right-handed than the left. Hitting just 218 from the side of the plate. Walker got a double play ball on the last inning from Renfroe. He could use another one.
That's a very good idea. Walker paying
Mediator, what's up, buddy?
attention to Peterson.
Caratini, it's run the middle. It's a base hit. Peterson around 2nd. He'll go on to 3rd.
1st and 3rd, nobody out.
And the Brewers have runners in the corners with nobody out.
Walker, 7th inning, man. I'm not killing Walker. I'm not killing Walker at
You
all.
can see the glove hand move
He did what he had to do in this
over
game.
the
I said
plate.
6
Didn't get it
innings,
away
1
enough.
run.
And good hitting by
This is on the
Caratini.
offense.
Good situational hitting. Setting up a 1st and 3rd.
What do you do if you're the Mets? How do you play your infield? Do you play for 2 and give up that 2nd run? Or do you play in?
You got 6 more outs. They're going to play back. It's a tough call. I can see halfway, but they're going to play it back. Now they're coming in halfway.
Corby's coming in, and so is Lindor,
Yeah.
so they're going to play it 50-50.
Right. That's the right move.
There's Tyrone Taylor, and he lofts one to shallow center, and that's going to fall for a base hit.
That sucks.
In the score is Peterson. Caratini stops at 2nd.
2-0
Taylor
Brewers.
dumps a single in the center field to drive and a run, and it's 2-0 Milwaukee. And that's going to be all for Taijuan Walker.
Well, just a little flare here, and it has an RBI on it, on a ribeye steak. Unfortunate.
So Walker.
All right. So, again, I'm not killing Walker here. 6 solid innings. That's what I was expecting before the game. 6 innings. It would have been 1 run. Gave up 2 runs. Still good enough where the Mets should have scored some damn runs for him, and he didn't. So this is on the offense right now for sure. Peterson is coming into the game, 1st and 2nd, nobody out. So there was a call there that should have been strike 3. It was a walk, and he got the hit. Hey, listen. Well, Joe, I'm not gonna say he left him in too long. I mean, I guess you could have said that, but I mean, he pitched 6 scoreless innings. giving up 4 hits. So I'm not gonna kill Buck there, but you know, Taijuan Walker is a 6-inning pitcher. That's my opinion. You know, so and again, Walker did what we want him to do. He's your number 4 starter, right? You expect your 4 starter to what? Give you a quality start. He gave you a quality start. The Mets had what, they left 8 men on base in this game. You got to score runs. You know, if your number 4 starter gives you 6 innings, 2 runs, you'll take that every day of the week. This is on the offense here, no doubt about it. But we got 2 innings to see if the offense can somehow come back in this ball game. But we got to get out of the 7th inning first with nobody out. So Peterson is coming in the game with 1st and 2nd, nobody out. Peterson has pitched well in relief since they threw him to the bullpen. We'll see what he can do there, see if he can shut it down. Again, you know, as much as we, you know, again, how can you blame Walker in this spot? 6 innings, 2 runs. If you told me that before the game, I'd be like, all right, the Mets got a good chance of winning the ball game. That's the way I see it. So let's see if Peterson can get out of this jam here and keep it to 2 runs and give the Mets, the offense, something. See if they can get there.
Mets are looking for the bunt from Garrett Mitchell, the number 9 hitter, left on left. Warner's pitching in. Mitchell squares and takes the pitch outside for Peterson, ball 1.
Oh, Nito's going to give it to him because Nito felt he got squeezed. You saw him double look at home plate umpire Dan Marzell. All bucks all over him. He just said awful.
Caratini, the runner at 2nd, no speed there. Taylor, the runner at 1st, and Mitchell lays off the slider from
Yeah, Joe,
Peterson.
I mean, true, but I mean, they play the Phillies tomorrow. They can gain a half a game, right? And we got 3 games series, so you got to win ball games. It's very simple.
This is a dicey pitch right here. You're 2-0.
Come on, David.
And he could give him a hit sign because it might be a good pitch to hit, but I doubt it.
Pushes a bunt foul. Mitchell's 2 for 2 today. Beat out an infield hit in the 4th, and then sliced a base hit to left in the 5th. And now facing the left-hander, and Rick Counsell so far has asked him to bunt on each of the first 3 pitches. Swing again, and he bunts it to a third. Nicely done. Escobar to the glance, and it almost cost him.
1 out. Woof.
He forgot how fast Mitchell was, and he almost
So
lost
got the
it.
bunt down, 2nd and 3rd, 1 out.
That goes 5-4, moving the runners to 2nd and 3rd.
Well, you don't mind bunting it hard as long as you get it down to third base line and force the third baseman to vacate. Infield in.
All right, come on. Yelich is up.
Christian
1
Yelich
out,
at the
2nd and
plate.
3rd.
Takes the fastball low for ball 1, 98 miles an hour from Peterson.
David Peterson.
Starters go to the bullpen where their velocity plays up. And he's in a spot where he really needs a strikeout against a contact hitter in Yelich. This is inside with a changeup, and it's 2-0. Willie Adames, the hottest hitter on the lineup, is on deck. There's nobody up behind Peterson who would have to face Adames anyway. That would be his 3rd batter. Caratini at 3rd takes a decent fly ball to get him home. And Yelich swings.
Nice
through a
pitch on the
fastball.
outside
It's
corner.
2-1.
That's a good pitch right there.
He wanted to pull,
Come on, David.
but it's a big run on third base right there. Pitchers love the outside corner when they're in trouble.
Oh,
Slider
just
off the
low.
plate. Now it's 3-1. Peterson adjusting to this new role, jumping into the fire with runners on base. Behind Yelich, 3-1.
All right, challenge him. 3-2.
And it's a full count.
Get that ball a little bit more up. He's going to swing under that.
Hit right there, and Yelich just got that long swing. Not able to square it up.
Well, Peterson for the year.
Well, that's McNeil, you know. Gary, that's basically what they do.
Needs a strikeout right now.
Come on, David, let's go. Bear down.
3-2 coming to Yelich.
Yeah, baby, nice strikeout right there. Good job.
AK for David Peterson.
Exactly where you needed that pitch. 98 miles an hour.
Ball outside corner.
Nasty pitch.
Yelich stepping in
Nice.
the bucket, pulling off. Not a
Good
chance
job.
to cover
Come on,
the
one more.
outside corner.
Well, now you got to walk Adames and pitch to Tellez.
Oh.
No doubt.
I mean,
Walking
Adames
Adames and pitch to
is the one
Tellez.
by far.
Have to do that there.
Reds have already made the indication he's going to get first base. And they'll bring up the left-hand hitter Tellez.
Come on,
who's
David,
being
keep it to
called
2.
back. And they're going to send up Mike Brasso, who has not yet
Mike
appeared in this
Brasso.
series.
We all remember
Brasso
him
will be
from the
pitching and
playoffs
giving
during the
a right-hand
pandemic,
batter
who
against
hit that big
Peterson.
home run against the Yankees.
Very interesting. You pinch hit with a guy with
2 outs,
32
Steven,
home
2 outs.
runs.
He's only hit 4 of them against lefties.
Right. And he hasn't been swinging the bat good.
Drew Smith warming up in the bullpen.
Drew Smith.
Well, I don't think they can get Drew ready quick enough to bring him in to face Brasso. But he will be ready perhaps for Renfroe, who would follow if Brasso keeps
Well,
getting going.
Tellez is not coming in. It's Brasso, the right-handers.
Drew was just activated from the injured list yesterday after a couple of months on the sidelines with a lat injury.
Brasso does have power.
So Brasso, the former Tampa Bay Ray, will come to bat with the bases loaded and 2 out.
All right, David, come on. One more out.
And apparently enough time was wasted that they feel as though Drew is ready. Because here comes Buck Showalter.
All right, Drew Smith's coming in the ball game to face the righty. All right.
The pitch in a major league game in 2 months. Drew Smith, if he does come in, will come right into the fire. And Buck is wasting a little more time here.
No, yeah, I think he wants to have a word with home plate umpire Merzel. Dan Merzel.
All right, he's talking to Peterson.
We'll see.
I think he's waiting for the ump to come.
And now the indication goes.
And now
to
they're
bullpen.
gonna-
Drew is coming into the game.
Take him out
Stalling
for
as
Drew
long as he
Smith.
could. Yep.
James, I'm all right.
So they didn't get Drew up until the pinch hitter appeared on deck.
All righty, so Drew Smith, who didn't get a lot of warm-up tosses in the pen, coming into the game, hasn't pitched in 2 months, coming in with the bases loaded and 2 outs to face Mike Brasso. Very interesting call after Peterson got a big strikeout. Very interesting there. But you know what? You counted on Drew Smith to be on that postseason roster, so put him in. That's the way I see it. You know, I don't know if Drew Smith started to struggle because he was hurt or he was just laying those pitches in because he's got a very straight fastball but got very nasty stuff. We'll see what Drew Smith can do after 2 months on the IL. Very interesting. For the first 2 months of the season, he was lights out. A lot of people were saying that, Anthony DeComo, a couple of other Mets beat reporters, that Drew Smith, they think he was pitching hurt, and that's why he wasn't as dominant as the first 2 months. We'll see. Let's be honest. He was the bridge to Diaz early on in the season. Remember, it was supposed to be Trevor May or Adam Ottavino or Seth Lugo as the bridge to Diaz, and Drew Smith took that role from them until he got hurt. And he struggled for at least a month before he finally went on the IL. So we don't know if it was the injury to Drew Smith that caused them to stop pitching bad. We'll see. But he has really good stuff. Everybody was very excited to see Drew Smith get a role in this bullpen after what we've seen his stuff the last year or two for the most part before, when he came back from injury a couple of years ago, 2 years ago. So we'll see what Drew Smith can do. He's in a big spot here. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Facing Mike Brasso, the right-hander, the former Tampa Bay Ray, who had a big home run in the playoffs against the Yankees during the pandemic year. So we will see if Drew Smith comes in a big spot and gets the job done. Here we go, guys. First time back in 2 months for Drew Smith. Let's go.
Against San Diego. Big part of the Mets bullpen, especially the first couple
No margin for error here.
Coming back from a lat injury and jumping right into the fire.
Come on, Drew.
Slowing 2 out. That's down 2-0. Mike Brasso, the pinch hitter. Caratini at third, Taylor at second. And
Well, Todd, I think the third batter, if they pinch hit, I don't think it counts as a third batter anymore. I could be wrong about that, but that seems like the case. All right. Nice curveball. All right.
Slider first pitch.
Slider. More of a slurve.
Let's see the splits on Brasso. Much better against.
Come on, Drew. Let's go, baby.
Slider was the pitch that took Drew to a new level this year. He was a fastball cutter, curveball guy in the past, but started incorporating the slider this year, and it's been his go-to pitch. First 2 months of the season, he was as effective as any reliever the Mets had.
Nice pitch. Not where he wanted it, but blew it by him. 0-2. 96 miles an hour. You don't want to throw that pitch again. That's right down the middle. You want to get that on the corner a little bit, maybe a little bit more up. Come on, Drew.
And now Smith. Ahead on Brasso, 0-2.
That was a good pitch right there. I think that's where he wanted to throw it in the second pitch. Oh, 2 pitch. Are you going to try to throw a ball in the dirt to see if he fishes? But you got the bases loaded. Got to trust Needle to block the ball.
Used in his first year in Milwaukee. With 126 at bats.
Come on, Drew. Let's go.
Down to the count 0-2 to Drew Smith. And he carves one
All right.
foul.
Didn't get it up. Right down the middle again. Missed the spot. Still 0-2.
Again, the 0-2. And he hits one to deep left field. McNeil back to the warning track. Back at the wall. It's out of here. Mike Brasso with a pinch hit grand slam. And McNeil jumping against the fence with that bulky leg might be shaken up again.
Damn.
It's 6-0 Milwaukee as Brasso unloads a grand slam as a pinch hitter on an 0-2 pitch.
He hung an 0-2 pitch. Well, he threw the slider, but he hung it. Damn. That's been his bugaboo. Not the pitch.
Oh, they got a hanging slider.
Look at that right there.
Right there.
Freaking cement mixer.
Not much of a follow through. Short swing.
And just so you know, McNeil almost caught that ball.
Glad Jeff did not damage any part of his body right there.
Looked like he hurt his right hand grabbing on that chain link fence.
Wow.
6th home run of the year for Brasso.
Damn.
It has been a painful day for McNeil.
6-0
With
Brewers.
this inning exploding on the Mets. After Walker
Yeah, he couldn't.
batter, Peterson came in and got 2 outs.
You know, clearly,
And Drew Smith got ahead of his first batter. at 2
Brasso
outs, but
is
Brasso
a breaking ball hitter.
crushing one to perhaps crush
But-
the Mets' hopes for the day.
Yikes.
6-0 Milwaukee. See him holding, shaking that right hand. He got that caught on that chain link in front of the scoreboard.
I don't never like chain link fence.
Should have stuck with the
Fly
fastball
one out
there.
to right. And Naquin steadies and retires the.
Ah, that slider, that hanging slider. You know, right before that pitch, I said he's going to throw a slider in the dirt. Well, he hung it. Yeah, I mean, I would have left Peterson in, to be honest with you. But, you know, you can't hang with slider like that. You know, on the 2 pitches, he threw on the other pitches that Brasso was fouling off. he couldn't catch up to the fastball. So he's got a long swing, and the breaking balls just sped it up. So it was a bad spot, clearly. But that's rough. But yeah, had him 0-2. That's not again. The pitch selection probably wasn't bad. It was all location there. But again, a slider, there's a 50-50 chance pretty good chance you're gonna hang it. So Buck didn't blow that. I'm not gonna kill Buck on that. Drew Smith had him 0-2. You got to do better than that. You know, sooner or later you gotta blame the pitcher there. On an 0-2 count, you know, you can also blame Nito in that spot. Nito's got to notice there that Brosseau couldn't catch up to a fastball. So, you know, if you wanted to throw a fastball up and away and see if he fishes, I would have done that. Yeah, but then when are you going to ever throw Drew Smith in? You know, I mean, he's going to be a part of your bullpen in the postseason. But Smith's got to – look, it comes down to Nito and Smith. You got to make a better pitch. I wouldn't say Drew Smith's a bum, though. He was your best reliever besides Diaz the first 2 months of the season before he got hurt. So, exactly, Jeffrey. Seems that's the way it goes. So it's 6-0 Brewers, top of the 8th. You know, again, you can't throw a cookie like that. You can't. Not on 0-2. You know, I'm not going to kill the pitch selection, but you know what? If you got to freaking bury the ball in the dirt, you do it. Don't give yourself any chance. So, but he hung the slider, and that's what happens. Brosseau, I said it. He's a power guy. Big spot in the postseason. He did it against the Yankees as well. So that's rough. Of course the Mets are going to score 3 or 4 runs. We all know that.
And Brent Suter, who worked a 1-2-3 inning last night, will come into pitch for Milwaukee. So the Mets now down by a half dozen. Jeff McNeil leads off in the 8th and takes a call strike. McNeil's 0 for 3 today, and he pops one up into shallow left, and back goes the third base.
1 out.
Peterson to grab it. 1 out.
Don Smith is done, guys.
Jamming his leg, trying to catch a pop-up, running into the fence, trying to grab the grand slam, and he's taking an over at the plate as well. It's been a painful day for the Mets all the way around. Their offense has gotten nothing going against 5 Milwaukee pitchers. They lost Nimmo to injury in the first inning. McNeil getting banged up on a day where the Mets were presented an opportunity with the Braves finally losing a game. They're 5 outs away from dropping one themselves. Tyler McGill gets up in the Mets bullpen now. Here's Alonso, who's gone 0 for 3 today. And he nubs one back to the mound. Great grab by Suter. And that's the second out. Suter making like a Harvard goalie.
Well, jammed, Pete. And that's the kind that just kind of fool you. You think it's hit harder than it is.
So 2 out and nobody on now. Mark Vientos will bat for Daniel Vogelback. Vientos got a start at DH yesterday.
Oh, it's looking like it.
1 for 18
Vientos is up.
his big league career.
Yeah, I would have left Peterson in, honestly. He got a big strikeout there.
Takes a knee-high fastball for a strike.
Jeff McNeil is fine. He's still playing. Nimmo looks like he's fine. He's on the bench, so it looks like they're both okay.
Changeup blown away, 2-2. Tyler Naquin would be next. It's fouled away. Darren Ruff's come out on deck to bat for Naquin if the inning continues. Now the Brewers, if they can win this game, have a chance perhaps to pick up some ground on the Phillies, who played tonight at home against Toronto after getting shellacked last night, 18-11. Away a full count to Vientos. Brewers are 2.5 games behind the Phillies for the final postseason berth in the National League. And this is a game that they have needed badly. Vientos pops one up in foul ground, and that'll sail out of play.
Yeah.
Well, that'll get him the 2 back before the Phillies play.
Full count to Vientos, and Mark carves one foul, and they'll do it again. It's been a tag team affair for the
Well,
Brewers
Joe, you know what?
today.
The Braves could have said the
5
same thing, you
pitchers
know?
have combined to hold the Mets scoreless on 4 hits. The starter.
Yeah, but it's nearly impossible to win every game at this point.
After Ashby
It really
gave us
is.
2 innings last night, and then
Especially when you're
Taylor
facing a team like the Brewers who are trying to
the 2-on-1.
keep their playoff hopes alive with
That's a
12
base
games
runner
to
in
go.
the 8th, and Darren Ruff will bat for Tyler Naquin.
All right, Vientos got a walk. Darren Ruff is pinch hitting.
If you look at the last 2 days for the Mets, really, their offenses have been confined to 2 swings.
Correct.
Alonso had a 3-run homer and Lindor a grand slam last night, but the Mets only had 4 hits in that game, and they've had only 4 hits in this game. And now Ruff pinch hitting takes an ugly hack at a fastball, 0-1. Ruff pinch hit last night and drew a walk. It was the first of the 3 walks. That
Look, what you got to do in Oakland is win the series because they're playing 4 in Philadelphia. And if it stays like that into oh, that's a strike. Jesus Christ.
It's 0-2.
If you take 2 of 3 against Oakland, which on a West Coast trip like that series, it's not easy to sweep. Take 2 out of 3, the Phillies are going to – I have a pretty good feeling the Phillies are going to split the series against the Braves. And if that's the case, that's 4 games off the schedule for the Braves and 3 for the Mets. And the Mets will still have a lead. 1-game lead.
Would be next. This was a scoreless game to the bottom of
Going
the
going back home against Miami.
And then the Brewers put up 5 in the 7th. Fouls go away. Looked like they were on the verge of getting out of the inning at 2-0 and 0-2 count.
Muckman, I'm confident in this team. You know, again, you can't win every game. You're facing a team that's desperate. Look how desperate the Brewers are. They're putting in every reliever, pinch hitters that you wouldn't think to put in the pitcher in that spot, and they did.
And Ruff goes down swinging on change.
Darren Ruff,
And the side retired.
the best addition to this team at the trade deadline. I think everybody can agree. Mothman, you know what? Listen, I put it this way. If the Mets go into Atlanta with a 1-game lead, you got to remember this. The Mets win 1 ball game in Atlanta. Right? They win 1 ball game. The Mets win the tiebreaker. So the Braves have to win the division by at least 1 game. If they tie us at the end of the year, we win the tiebreaker. That's why I think it's important for everybody to realize that. And people keep on forgetting that technically, at the moment, the Mets lead the season series by 2 games. The Mets win 1 game in the series. The Braves have to win the division by 1 game. They cannot tie us. So after that, right when that Brave series happens, if the Mets are up a game, it's technically 2 games until the Braves sweep us. If they sweep us, well, they win the season series, and then it comes down to the tiebreaker would go to the Braves. So I think people are forgetting that. So I think people have to look at the whole picture except just looking at it. At the moment, it's technically 2 games because of the fact the Mets take 1 game against the Braves in the series. They have to win 1 game. So technically they're up 2 games. I know it doesn't sound right, but That's how it is because of the tiebreaker. That's why, people are like, oh, you got to win the series against the Braves. If the Mets go into that series 1 game up, right? And they win 1 game, they're going to be tied with 3 games left in the season. So that means unless the Braves have a 1-game lead over us at the end of the year, they don't win the season series. They can't tie us. So technically the Mets would be up 1 game if the Mets are tied going into the last 3 games of the series against the Nationals. That's how it would go. And the Braves face the Marlins. So the pitching matchup for Oakland is Bassett, DeGrom, and Scherzer. So we got our big boys up there. Listen, no reason why we can't sweep, but we'll see. All right. Bottom of the 8th, McGill is on the mound for the Mets.
Donovan McGill makes his second appearance, coming back off 3 months on the injured list.
Tyler, with the first game of this series, made his debut.
I will be right
two-run
back.
Home run to Tellez. And that game was 5-0 at that time. And there you see his numbers. So they're getting him some work.
Darren Russ stays in right field after pinch hitting. Colton Wong leads off in the last of the 8th for Milwaukee. And Wong takes one inside of his feet. Ball 1. Wong is 0 for 3 today. 2 big swings for the Brewers. The leadoff home run by Adames in the 6th. This grand slam by Brasso in the 7th. Very similar to the way the Mets won last night on 2 big swings in the 6th and 7th. From Alonso and Lindor. 2-0 to Wong. Chase Peterson on deck, then Victor Caratini for Milwaukee. Mets are closing out play against the National League Central today. They have feasted on that division. 23-9 against the Central coming into today. And even with a loss today, 23-10 would be quite a domination. Strike 3-1.
That's a great record by the Mets for the NL Central. 23-10 if they lose today.
And it's a heavy ball. Don't ask me to tell you why, because it's hard to describe.
Mothman, no, they don't. It depends on where they're going to be going into that series.
Didn't I do a good job there?
If the Mets go into the Braves series up 1 game,
the best interaction we've had
and they
all
take
year.
2 or 3, they have a 2-game
You said,
lead
don't ask me, and I didn't ask you.
going into the final series, where technically the Mets will be up 3 games because
Nothing has really gone
there's
right
no
for the
tiebreaker.
Mets
The Mets will
today.
win the tiebreaker,
No offense. A couple big home runs.
and the only thing the
against
Mets have to do is not get swept by the Nationals,
He'll get banged up, although he has stayed in.
and the Braves will have to sweep the Marlins.
Grounded to the left side, giving ground is Escobar. Fires in time to get Wong, but there has been one victory
Vogel
posted
back.
today.
What's up,
It
Vogel?
was an awesome one.
What's up, Dave?
Achieved and come from behind.
Mothman, it would be
fashion.
nice, but you never know.
It was Steve Gelbs as the Polish sausage winning the sausage race.
He got off to a
And there will never be a bigger win in Steve's resume than the one he achieved today.
No, it's like a George Costanza. I'm out. I'm out. But I was thinking of you guys the whole time down that finishing kick.
and you didn't get on the inside lane. You had to win it on the outside.
Well, they have very strict rules about where your lane is, and you're not allowed to switch lanes until you round home plate. So
Look at you.
I know. Look at me.
I mean, the chorizo had you, and you just out-kicked him to the finish. That was very impressive.
Again, it was all about you guys.
Well,
I felt
you got to
like
look
I
at the
let you down
series, right?
earlier.
The Braves and
And I
Phillies
had
play
to-
tomorrow,
I
right?
just pulled it out.
All right, now you have to describe for us.
Say
what
the
it's
Braves
like
win the half a
wearing
game.
that
The Mets take
costume
2 out of
and
3
how close
in
you came
Oakland,
to tipping over.
and
Well,
they
I
split
had
against
about an
Philly.
inning's
The
worth
Mets will be up
behind the
a
scenes
game and a half,
practicing,
actually.
But
So
they tell you,
That's how it
see
worked out.
everybody holding their arms really close.
again, the Braves
because
can't
they
afford a
tell you to
split
hug
in that series.
costume, otherwise the head is going to bobble forward and back too much, and it's the
Boogie,
case.
I agree
It's
with
very,
that,
very top
but
heavy. I will
at
say
the
this
same
about
time,
chorizo, just to give him a little bit of a break.
he's
I
also
know
trying to find what's going to work in the
That
bullpen
would've
as
been
well.
yours.
You know, you
The
can't pitch
chorizo,
Drew
because
Smith
of the
in
sombrero, is
in
15
slop
pounds
situations
heavier
when it
than
doesn't matter.
Off the glove of McGill, barehanded by Guillorme.
Oh, nice play by Guillaume.
Wow. That's a Luis
1,
Guillaume
4, 3
special
double
off the carob with
out.
a bare hand. Beautiful play. This ball was going up the middle for a base hit. Look at him react.
True, but the Mets
Bare
can also
hand.
lose and it'd be 2 games then by that time. So again, you don't know what the Braves are gonna do. You know what I'm saying?
That's just a fine play.
All right, I got two more things for you, Steve. One is, how do we know for sure it was you and not a ringer?
I can show you what I'm wearing right now, and you can match it up with the Polish
Correct,
sausage,
Joe, correct.
the legs. That's one.
The door goes
All right,
back to
quick
Brett
inning from
Richards
McGill.
on the
Nice inning
side.
from McGill.
And two,
Last licks
he
for the
had-
Mets. So yeah, like we were saying, guys. Again, it sucks that pretty good chance we're losing today, right? 6-0 lead in the ninth. You're off tomorrow. The Braves play the Phillies. We just assume that the Braves are just going to win again, right? You got to remember, the Phillies now. The Brewers are going to gain a half a game, possibly a game on the Phillies if the Phillies lose tonight. The Phillies are fighting for their lives, and they can by the end of that series against the Braves, they can be out of a wild card spot. So you also have to look at that as well. Just as much as the Brewers played us hard, the Phillies the Phillies are pissed, right? The Braves swept them. I'm gonna tell you right now, the Phillies are gonna go down. Again, their defense and their bullpen might destroy them, but I agree, Todd. They probably will collapse, but again, it's still in Philly. Philly plays well at home, and a 4-game series, it's not easy to take 3 out of 4, especially a team that is going to have Nola, and I think Wheeler's coming back in that game as well. Again, if they split, that helps the Mets. Hey, Jacob and Ron, how you doing? Well, if Philly sweeps Atlanta, the Mets would gain a game even if they get swept by the A's. But the A's played good teams well, though. They gave trouble to the Astros this year. They beat up the Yankees. So the A's ain't, they're a joke record-wise, but they tend to play well against good teams. So, yeah, the schedule evens out. But you know what? It depends on who's pitching for the Marlins when the Braves and the Mets face them, If it's Alcantara, well, that can be a win for the Marlins there for whoever plays them. So, but after today, we got 11 games left. We'll be up a game still. Hey, you got good odds. Right now, it's plus 20,000 for the Mets to come back and win. Put $100 on that, man. That's a nice payday if the Mets come back. Well, Marcus, that's why I'm saying. That's why I don't think everybody's like, oh, the Phillies are choking. Yeah, but you know what? The Phillies are going to score runs in that stadium. So. Yeah, but that was when the Phillies were out of it, right? The Phillies really didn't have a chance after that part. Let's go.
Down 6-0. Jake Cousins comes in to try and close it out for the Brewers. Eduardo Escobar has gone 0 for 3 today. And he takes a fastball away from Cousins.
Put my rally cap on. I don't want to mess up my postseason hat. But all right, for you guys.
Has been heavily used,
and I'm gonna do a half a rally cap.
Best reliever. Devin Williams has not appeared in this series. Williams, who is celebrating his 28th birthday today, has not been needed in a couple of losses and now a lopsided lead in the ninth. But everybody else in that bullpen has got.
This is the pray on your knees rally cap.
Escobar fouls one away, and it's 1-2. Luis Guillaume on deck, and then Tomas Nido for the Mets in the ninth. Mets have been shut out 7 times this
well, Jacob,
year.
an NL East wildcard round can't happen. Because whoever wins the NL East is getting the bye.
Streak on the line here in the ninth inning, down by a half dozen.
The Mets come back and win this ball game. I'm never taking this cap off. It's going to be like that. I'm going to glue it on.
Always important to note that the Mets have recovered from a deficit this large in the ninth inning this year.
I never take this hat off again. I'll wear it to work
Favorite city
if the Mets come back and win this
against
ball
your
game.
favorite team. But Escobar is a strikeout.
And one out. Well, with that said,
one out and nobody on. When we're done here, don't forget to
hey, you know who you don't see, guys? The Braves fans. Interesting, right? The Mets are getting their ass kicked, but all of a sudden the Braves lose. The Braves fans are nowhere to be found. They're probably listening. You know, somebody might type something be like, "Oh, I can assure you that they're listening." You know, they're just right behind waiting. Alcantara pitched the 18, yeah, so he'll be ready for that Met series and probably be pitching that Atlanta series as well, because he is pitching for a Cy Young as well.
And it was a dump then. Can't even imagine. It was like
It's an old stadium.
it's driven down the left field line. Foul.
Wow, that ball just went foul.
It's just more of a football field.
I'm not really concerned about that. I'm more concerned about the sewage of the rats, to be quite honest.
That's what I'm saying about man. You know, of course we want to win the division, but
well, all the injury updates on the bats, in addition to the Giants. See how Brandon Dell is. See how Jeff McNeil is coming out of this game.
Eric, no, it's not going to happen.
I mean, they tell me that there are actually rat traps on the press level to try and keep the vermin out.
Yeah, it's so bad in Oakland Coliseum.
I mean,
they got rat traps everywhere.
Broadcasters, they just don't mix because, you know, the rodents chew the wires. Yes, and anything that knocks us off the air, you know, is a problem.
They need to move.
I mean, you know, we have rats in New York, but not at Citi Field. We're a ratless facility.
It did.
2-2 coming. Aguirre has to move his feet. He got hit.
Oh, got hit by the
First
pitch.
base. And that one sets the record. That's 106.
106 hit by pitches.
Can we play
New
some
record.
celebratory music? Number 106 off the foot of Guillorme, and that sets the modern major league record. Third time the Mets have been hit today. Cannon was struck the first two times, and from here it's all icing on the cake. Did Buck get the ball?
Yes.
And is he going to get it authenticated? He wants it. He knows it's the record. He's going to get it authenticated.
Buck wants the ball for the record.
That's it. History right there. It's funny.
Come on, Tomas, let's go.
Here's Nito with 1 out and 1 on. Tomas is 0 for 3 today, so he's got a 7-game hitting streak on the line. So make sure you get it authenticated, bud. Can I get that little hologram on it?
Actually, that could go in the Citi Field.
Mets Hall of Fame,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
That could be an 8th-inning double play. The turn by Augustus.
And the rally cap did not work.
Shut out for the 8th time this year. As the
Brewers win 6-0. The Mets do not get the sweep, but thanks for the Nationals for helping us out, keeping us a 1-game lead. One game off the schedule yet again. That's all. The Mets are counting down the days. That's what you got to do. Took another series, which the Mets seem to do all the time. Yes, I did see what the fans did in that stadium. Yes, I did. The couple. Yes, I did. That's right, guys. So once again, guys, the Mets lose 6-0. Kind of sucks, but again, we got a little bit of help, you know, when we needed it. You know, the Braves had the opportunity when we got swept by the Cubs. They didn't take advantage of that opportunity. So still a back and forth. Mets got 11 games left. The Braves got 13, if I'm not mistaken. So the Mets knock another game off the schedule. They're going to be off tomorrow, so they either be up a half a game tomorrow if the Braves win, or up a game and a half. I don't know. Maybe I'll go live during the Braves-Phillies game. Maybe I'll do that. Or I'll put it up for you guys. We'll see. So we'll see. So maybe the Phillies can show some life and help us out, and maybe we can gain a half a game on our day off. If we gain a half a game on our day off, that's another day off to schedule for the Braves, and the Mets gain a half a game without even playing. That would be nice. But we'll see what happens. Unfortunately, the Mets offense didn't really help their chances today. Taijuan Walker pitched well. 6 innings, 2 runs for your number 4 starter. I said that before the game. Give us 6 innings to keep us in a ball game. He did that. Yes, he struggled a little bit in the 7th, didn't get no outs, but again, you got to score runs. You got to give the guy an opportunity there. That got to get on the board for the guy who gave you 6 innings, 2 runs. But the Mets didn't do that. The Phillies are going to be a desperate team in that 4-game series. They're going to be pissed off. You know that. They're home. Let's see if the Phillies can find a way to be a desperate team that can do everything they can to beat the Braves. And let's be honest, they need to beat the Braves. If they don't beat the Braves and they lose that series, pretty good chance that the Brewers are probably going to take that 3rd wildcard spot. So with that said, guys, Mets lose 6-0, but they don't lose ground because the Nationals took care of business and avoided the sweep against the Braves 3-2, as you see on the screen. So the Mets, at the very least, will have a half a game lead going to Oakland on Friday, or a game and a half lead going into Oakland on Friday. So tomorrow I will have a Mets Talk live, probably around 5 or 6 o'clock. I'll let you guys know about that. But once again, guys, thank you guys for tuning in to Mets Talk, Mets versus Brewers watch party. Unfortunately, the Mets did not score any runs, and that grand slam by Brosseau was the icing on the cake. So with that said, 1-game lead in the NL East, 11 games to go for the Mets. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Mets Talk Live. Everybody, have a good night. Let's go, Mets. See you next time.
You'll find a Mets fan. Let's go. This is a Mets year for all your Mets.